Hello everyone, welcome to J Crochet. I am Reggie and this is Yarniversity. If you are with us live, welcome. If this is your first time here, the first half an hour of Yarniversity, which is a live class in either a crochet or a yarn related topic each week. The first half an hour is dedicated to different administrative things that have to do with the channel. So if you're here with us live, this is your time to, if this doesn't interest you, you can go get yourself something to drink, go to the toilet, walk the dog, do whatever you want. In about half an hour is when the actual class begins. And if you are with us on the replay, then you can always skip ahead half an hour into the video until where the class begins. If you're not sure if you're watching this live or on replay, just look at the top of the chat screen. If it says live chat or top chat, then you are here live. If it says live chat or top chat replay, then you are watching on replay. And if you're here live, I do think that you should probably put your chat to live chat so that you can see everyone's comments and not just what YouTube classifies as top comments. And as I've said, I am Reggie. This is Yarniversity. It is a live class, so I will be blabbering on while you guys listen. This is just the kind of live this is. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, I would very much appreciate it if you consider subscribing. Hit that little subscribe button. And if you want to join our membership program, then you can join by pressing the little join button that's right next to the subscribe button. And if you press that, you will get a rundown of what it means to be a member of the channel, what it takes from you, and what you get in return. And let's see who we have with us today. Oh, wow, a lot of people are already here. Hello to Catherine, and hi to Luna. And Debbie is here. Good to see you, Debbie and Lacey. And hello to yours truly by Rose. And Doris is here. Hi, Doris. I'm so happy to see you here. And yeah, hello to everyone. Hi to Perfectly Imperfect Crochet. I know you told me your name last time. You'll have to tell it to me one more time so that I will remember it. But I want to say something with B. Hi to Jana, welcome in. Hi, Anvita, and Hannah is here. Hello, Hannah and Christy. Good to see you, all my European friends. And hello to Chris, Andy Warhol's wig. Good to see you. You're here live. And hello to Hooked by Suze. You just got here, and I do believe you're new here, or maybe this is your first time actually participating in the chat, so cheers to you. Welcome, newbie. Hello. Hi to Lisa and Frenchie's Fiber Files. Frenchie, hi, Frenchie. Good to see you all here. I'm very happy that you are all here today and that you're all joined. Your name is Tracy. Tracy, I will remember that for next time. I promise. It takes me a few times until I get someone's name, but as you can see, I'm already familiar with some of the regulars. So the more you show up, the better the chance I will remember your name for next time. But welcome. Good to see you all here. Very happy to have you all with me. This week has been a little bit hard on me YouTube wise. I did not put out any video. I'm sure you guys noticed. Sorry, it's not that nothing special happened. I just didn't feel like it, and you guys know when I don't feel like it, I don't like to record videos because I have to. I don't do that. It's not this kind of channel. I record videos because I want to put them out there, because they are fun, because I think they'll be interesting for my viewers to watch, and not just for the purpose of putting videos out there and gaining watch hours. That's not my style. Hi Laura, welcome in. Good to see you here. So yes, today's live is all about how to shop for hand-dyed yarn online, and we will talk about that right as when the class begins. But as I have promised. First half an hour is for some administrative notes. So first things first, members only live. I said that last week as well. I'm gonna say that again. If you are a member of the channel or a part of our membership program, our members only live will be on September 15th. We are going to be making a scarf together. I already put all the information that you need in order to participate in that on the community tab of the channel, as well as on the Facebook group in a post that is actually on the Facebook group. It's actually pinned to the top, and on YouTube you will only see it if you're actually a member. So if you are a member of the channel and you'll go to the community tab, you will see a members only post saying everything you need to know regarding the members only live, which, as I've said, will be on September 15th this month. And as always, you have to click on the link to see what time it takes place in your country. Hi Judy. Yeah, I know you do love hand-dyed yarn. Judy, I'm sure you will enjoy this live. Judy actually has very good taste in hand-dyed yarn, in my opinion. You try to post just one video a month on YouTube. Whenever I have a lot of things to post. So I also have a lot of videos that are already filmed. They are like in different process of being edited. So I do have material to put out, but I don't like to just put out videos for the sake of putting videos. You guys know that I'm not on YouTube to make money. It's not my business. So so if I don't feel like it, I don't put out video. I don't just, you know, do it for the watch hours. All right, so next thing, I've said that last week, but I'm gonna say it again for those of you who are new or who were not here. Our next live game show, where I'll be giving away a buttload of prizes, is going to take place on the 10th of October. That would be our Halloween special. And if you are a maker of any kind, or you're not a maker but you want to contribute some kind of prize to that live game show, then contact me. My email is in the description box below. If you know what you want to contribute as a prize, just, you know, tell me in the email. If you don't know but you want to contribute something and you want to maybe like discuss it with me so that we'll come up with some kind of idea, then you know, email me and tell me that, and we'll work it out together. But you know, any prize donations for the Halloween game show are more than welcome. And of course, there will be a lot of prizes supplied by me as always. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and that's going to be on October 10th. So, you know, mark your calendars. The next very fun thing we're going to have is Yarniversary. The anniversary of Yarniversity. Yarniversity will be 1 year old on November 14th. It just so happens that it falls on a Sunday. So on November 14th, we will have a big celebration here on the channel. And once again, if anyone wants to contribute prizes to that, my email is in the description box below. Just let me know. Hi to Alice and Ursula, welcome in. Yes, Lacey, I know you are a hand-dyed addict as well. Hi DB, hello to Proverbs. Again, you told me your name last week, but you're gonna have to tell me one more time. I'm so sorry. I'm really trying to keep up with everyone's names, and you see that there are some people who I'm already it's already there. Hello, and hello to Petra. Ooh, wait. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Petra. Happy birthday to you. And now the German version. Zum Geburtstag viel Glück, zum Geburtstag viel Glück, zum Geburtstag alles Gute, zum Geburtstag viel Glück. And now my son's favorite version. Happy birthday to you, Marmelade im Schuh, Aprikose in die Hose und noch Ketchup dazu. Happy birthday, Petra. I'm sure you got it all because, you know, you're of German descendant. So cheers. Happy birthday, Petra. Petra is having a very special birthday live celebration on her channel today, Petra's Happy Place. I put the link to her live in the description box below. I believe she will be on at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, if I'm not mistaken. Petra, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. And I hope that you all go and visit her there. I'm going to try, but it's going to be kind of late here. So I might just pop in sometime in the beginning. So happy birthday to Petra. Yes, yes, yes. Hello, 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 hello. Who did I miss? Everyone saying hi to everyone. My chat just jumped. Jeannie, right. I knew that. Hi, Dee. Welcome in. You love it in German. Yes. Alice is saying, you're doing great, Reggie. Half the time I'm bluffing my way through names. I'm trying. Hi, Jamie. She says, hello, Reggie. Are you headed out to a nightclub after class? Because you look so pretty. Oh. No, that's all for you guys. You're dressed in your Yarniversity hoodie. Oh, yeah. Yeah, whoop, whoop. By the way, everyone, oh, I totally forgot. Here it is. 20% off on Teespring all through September. Don't forget, if you want to get yourself a Yarniversity hoodie like Jamie has, go to the Teespring shop. The link is in the description box below. 20% off using this discount code. It's good for everything on the Teespring shop. Hi Kelly, and hi to Christy, and hello to everyone. Did I miss anyone? Thanks. You're also half German. Jeannie, you're also half German. That is cool. Lacey saying, Reggie, you sing beautifully. Oh, thank you. Your voice reminds me of those sultry stage singers in movies that you would see singing in a bar. Oh, wow. That is a compliment. Thank you. Just saying, Reggie did not get a notification today. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't control that. Crafty Chats Cafe says, I'll be right back, guys. Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Alice, and hi to Anita from YOH Crochet. Hi, and oh, thank you, Ursula. I got a super chat. Thank you. Cheers to Ursula, everyone. Cheers. With every super chat, we take a sip. To those of you who don't know, I live in Germany, so it's totally after 5 p.m. here, and it's totally fine that I'm drinking on the live. Hi to Catherine from Little Vicious Stitches. Hello. Sorry if I missed anyone. All right, so I told you guys about the members only live. I told you guys about the Halloween special, and I told you guys about the Yarniversary, the anniversary of Yarniversity, and I just painted myself with my pen. Yes, Kat, you miss it. I'm not gonna repeat that. All right, so I have two more things. First, my winner from the FG Normal giveaway, who I have announced this week on a community post, as I've told you guys I'm going to do, did not contact me yet. And I remind you all that if you win anything on my channel, you only have 1 week to claim your prize. So the winner of the FG Normal giveaway, if you enter that giveaway and you think you might be the winner, go back to the community post and check. It's on the community tab on the channel and see if you won. And if you won, you still have until next Wednesday to contact me because I announced the winner on Wednesday, but you only have until Wednesday. And after that, I will have to pick another winner. So if you enter that giveaway, check that out. Ginny is saying, wow, I love your logo, and more so, it's the first letter in my name. I have to order some things. Oh, yes, definitely do. Jeannie, I think that's also what Jamie did. I think she said it's at some point that like her kids think it's J for Jamie or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm confusing. And oh, we got another super chat. Thank you, Doris. I love you too. And cheers to you. Thank you very much, Doris. Yes, Kat, you'll have to watch it on the replay. What's up? And your favorite color is purple. See, so it's all fits together. Okay, and the last thing I have to say today, and it's like I only been to 15 minutes. So unlike, last week when I took 45 minutes to go through all the announcements that I have, this week I don't have many. So the last thing I wanted to say was this shawl that you see on Imogen. Imogen is modeling my latest shawl. This is the Zazura shawl, named for a mythical oasis with a very, very interesting story, which actually Catherine told. Catherine sent me the link to it, and I was mesmerized by it and decided that it totally fits the shawl, because I was looking for, like, you guys know I name all my patterns after different fictional places, and that the story that has to do with that oasis fits, I think, the story of the shawl perfectly, so they go together very well. And currently looking for testers for this. I have 3. I would love to have 2 or 3 more. So if you are a crochet pattern tester, and you know how to read written pattern as well as a chart, because this pattern comes with a chart, and I will request my testers who will do this test to compare the written and the chart and see that they in fact fit. So if you're interested in testing this specific shawl, contact me to my email and tell me that you want to test it. I will choose 3 more testers so that I will have 6 or 5 or 6 will be enough. And after the testing will be done, of course, the shawl pattern will be released. Hello, Sandy. Welcome in. Hi, good to see you here. Thank you. I'm glad you guys love the shawl. Hi, Jana. Did I say hi to you already? I don't remember, but hi anyway. I'm very glad you guys all love the shawl. I put some pictures of it on Instagram. This one is the hand-dyed yarn version, which, by the way, I blocked this. Now, you guys who have been with me for a while, you know my how do you say? My approach towards blocking, or my opinion about blocking. So you know that the fact that I blocked this already says a lot. So I put it's already like more work than I normally put into normal shawls, but it was so worth it because this yarn drapes wonderfully. This yarn, by the way, is by Little Vicious Stitches. She's here in the chat, Catherine from Little Vicious Stitches, and this is one of her Inspiring Castles of Europe Yarn Club yarns. It is the... which one was it? I knew it. I had it in my hand a few minutes ago. The one in Belgium. I think it was not last month, but the month before. And it came out beautifully. It just fits the pattern so nice. You want to see it a little close. First of all, Lacey, you can see it very, very close up on Instagram because I posted very good pictures of it. But because you asked so nicely, I do have 2 of them because, you know, it's me. So that's what it looks like. What do you think? And by the way, this one, the one that I'm holding now, this one is made with recycled cotton yarn, which we were talking about just the other week at Yarniversity. So you can see that recycled cotton drapes just as beautifully as well. You need to bring Imogen closer to show. Okay, I'll bring Imogen as well. Borakin's, right, Borakin's castle. Yes, 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 that is correct. Can we see it up close? Yes, I will bring Imogen too. Yeah. So here is Imogen. This is with the hand-dyed yarn version. Just look at this drape. Look how it falls here. Look. Oh my god, amazing yarn. Amazing yarn. Cannot take credit for the yarn, but Catherine can. And it's sparkly. It has stellina in there. That looks like a sunset. This one, yeah, it does, right? You love the ombre yarn. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, pretty. Thank you. Thank you, guys. You guys make me feel so good. You love the colors of the yarn. That is gorgeous. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Hi, Lori. Happy Sunday to you. You're really getting into lacy designs lately. Lacy, I mean, that should be that should be a given, no? Sorry, I had to. Thank you. I'm so glad you guys all like it. This motif, which when I put it on Instagram, people had so many different associations with this motif. I mean, at the beginning, people said like flowers and so on, but then people said it looks like palm trees. And someone said that it reminds them of the Demogorgon from Stranger Things. So I thought it's so amazing. And then someone said fireworks. People thought like that it looks like so many different things. So it really made me smile. Everyone like had some association with it, which already like makes this design so you know, versatile. Everyone thinks something else when they look at it. I don't know why, but this side. Oh, now it drapes nice. All right. So thank you, Imogen. You back, and you know, maybe I will let's see. It doesn't really go with my colors today, but wait. Ah, left is right. Yes. Okay. So, what do you guys think? Thank you. I'm so glad you guys all love it. It makes me feel really good. You love the yarn on the mannequin? Yeah, that's all Catherine. She is an amazing dyer. Can you show that one up close? You mean the yarn on the yarn from the snowflake, says Debbie. Lacey loves Lacy crochet. Right? Lacey loves Lacey. It's totally narcissist. Yes, right? That's what fiber art should be like. So, yeah. I'm not actually going to stay like this because it's freaking hot in here. But I do love, I mean, I think when there's like a design that you love, and for me personally, if I made the same design more than 2 times, it means I love it. Joyce, hey Joyce. Just a beautiful pattern. Can't wait for it. It will be coming up soon. And ooh, we have a new member. Jeannie joined a membership program. Cheers, all of our members. Raise your glasses to Jeannie. Welcome to the membership program. Cheers to you. Looks like autumn. The pop of color against, oh, thank you. Hey, Billy, the crafty Floridian is here. It could be Frenchie. It is possible that some of you guys are a little behind. I would highly recommend, refreshing the window. If you see that the responses in the chat don't match what you see on the screen, then you're probably behind on the video. Falling leaves. Thank you, Ursula. Thank you. So, yay! Hello, Jax. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Thank you. I will, like I said, I'm not gonna leave this on for much longer. I'm already starting to sweat. So, everyone, welcome in. Thank you for being here. If you haven't yet, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. If you're new here, hi, I'm Reggie. This is J Crochet, and today, Sunday, is Yarniversity. Yarniversity is a live class on a yarn or crochet related subject each week. At the beginning of today's live, I did say that we're going to have this month's members only live on September 15th, as well as the Halloween special on October 10th, and the Yarniversary, which is the 1-year anniversary of Yarniversity, on November 14th. If you are interested in contributing any kind of prize to any one of the game shows, please contact me to my email. If you entered the FG normal giveaway, the winner for that has been chosen this week and announced in a community post on my channel. And if you are not sure and you think you might be the winner, please go check that out, because the winner hasn't contacted me yet. And remember, you only have 1 week from the day of the announcement to claim your prize, or I'll have to choose another winner. And those are all the announcements that I had for today. They were very short, so I could repeat them, and I still have 3 minutes before the first half an hour of the show is done. Kelly saying she's not usually fond of orange and yellow, but that yarn is stunning. This yarn is Relana recycled yarn. If you don't know Relana, damn, I did not put a link to them, but I have links to them in other videos that when I spoke about them. But it's a very friendly to the environment yarn company. They have a lot of recycled yarns and a lot of yarns that are from natural fibers. So I highly recommend that you familiar yourself with them. That specific one is the Relana recycled. I'm very glad you like both versions, Hannah. Yes, please don't forget to hit the like button, everyone. And hi to Chantal, good to see you here. And yeah, all right. So if you joined in late, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. If you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe. If you want to join the membership program, the little join button right next to the subscribe button will tell you everything you need to know. And if you cannot see the little join button, there's also a direct link in the description box below. Also in the description box below, you'll find a link to Petra's Happy Place birthday live that will be today at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time, and on her channel, on Petra's Happy Place, and she will be celebrating her birthday and giving a lot of prizes on there as well. I personally donated a prize too, so if you guys want to come and meet us there, I will probably only be there for the beginning, but you guys go have fun, win prizes and all that. And of course, all the companies that I'm going to mention in today's live, or if I'm going to mention anything specifically during today's live, they are already linked down below. If there's anything that I'm going to talk about that I didn't mean to talk about and I will need to put a link to, I will update the description box after the live, so you'll be able to come back to the replay and do that. Okay, So, hi Sandra, welcome in. Okay, I think we are ready now to start talking about how to shop for hand-dyed yarn online. Hello, not for frogging. I love that name. Good morning, everyone. It's 9:30 on West Coast in the USA. Good morning to you. It's 6:30 p.m. here in Germany. Yeah. So welcome in everyone. If you're new here and you don't know me, I'm Reggie. If your channel name that appears on the chat is not your name and you want me to call you by your name and not your channel name, you can write it in the chat, and after a few times that you visit me, I will probably remember it. Yeah. Oh, one last thing. If you were here last week and you did not yet go back to last week's replay to comment with answering the question that I asked during last week's live in order to enter into the giveaway, you have until the end of today's live. And at the end of today's live, we will do the YouTube random comment picker on last week's Yarniversity and choose the winner. Okay. Now we can start talking about shopping for hand-dyed yarn online. So the reason this live came to be is because you guys, if you watch my channel, if you follow me, you know, regularly, then you know that I love hand-dyed yarn. I also love yarn from, you know, big companies, you know, mass-produced companies. I buy a lot of Hobie, as you can see behind me. But I also buy a lot of Katia yarns, and I buy a lot of Lana Grossa and Lang yarns. So I do shop from bigger yarn companies as well, but I do love my hand-dyed yarns. And I do a lot of hand-dyed yarns unboxings and hauls from different companies on my channel, and I get a lot of response from people who saying that they would love to buy hand-dyed yarn, but they don't know what, they are afraid to work with it, they don't know what they will make with it, and so on. And a lot of people send me, I have gotten in the past 6 months an abundance of email from different people who watch my channel and send me pictures of hand-dyed yarns that they want to buy and said, I have this in my cart on this website for so and so. What should I, like, if I want to buy it, but do you have any idea of what I can make with it? Or pictures of, I just bought this yarn. Do you have an idea of what I can make with it? Because I think, I mean, people who watch my channel regularly know that I buy a lot of hand-dyed yarns, and people who follow me on Instagram see that I also use all these hand-dyed yarns. So people very often don't know how to use their hand-dyed yarns, and it's very complimenting to know that you guys see me as some kind of authority on the subject that you would ask me. But because it's a subject that so many people ask me about, I thought that it would be nice to, you know, have some kind of guide, because I did do my Yarniversity of how to shop for yarn online. And that was a big success. But I felt like we sort of need a specific how to shop for yarn online for hand-dyed yarns, because the things you want to look at are a little different than what you want to look at when you shop for maybe like mass-produced big box yarns. Hello, Suzanne Joyce. Welcome in. Lacey says she loves hand-dyed yarn and loves small business. And Jeannie never tried Hobie. You cannot say that on this channel. I'm joking. But if you're watching my channel, you might get addicted. Your name is very different. It's Virginia. Okay, pronounce Vargina. Vargina. And yes, there is an R in your first name. You came to the right channel with these kind of jokes. Hello, Vargina. Or is it Var... It is even worse if it's Vargina. Sorry. Not making fun of your name. People here in the chat know me. That must not have been an easy name to live with, says Catherine, especially in school. But I like it. It's very different. Yes, I like it too. Afraid to use fancy yarns, says Anita. Afraid the project won't turn out. I'm pretty new to making major wearables, and I'm not wasting fancy yarn on the aims that I normally make. On the amis that I normally make. Yeah, I get that. You don't answer if they forget it. I wouldn't either. Right, Anita, I was just gonna say what Catherine just said. If it doesn't turn out like you want, you know, you can just frog it. Alice says, whoops, I have yet to try the services of Hobby. Just haven't ventured out to the wool warehouse comfort, out of the wool warehouse comfort zone. Alice, do you shop on Lovecrafts? They are, I think they're also in the UK, no? I'm not sure. Veggie, I never tried it either, but won 2 skeins in a giveaway, and it is wonderful yarn. Yes, definitely. Right, everyone's... You've come to the right channel. You should watch the Naughty Yarniversity from a few weeks ago. Anyone who did not yet watch the Naughty Yarniversity should definitely go back and watch it. Lisa is saying most of the hand-dyed yarns are too expensive for her to buy. We will talk about that too. Your last name is Rose, but her first name... Cherie, I knew that. See, I knew that. And I was gonna say Cherie when you first walked in, but then someone said hello, Rose, and I was thinking, am I confusing you with someone else? You used Lovecraft, but you find Wool Warehouse has more variety. Okay, Alice, if you shop regularly at Wool Warehouse, I have a discount code for them. It's not affiliated, but I have a discount code for them down below, and if you want to use it, it's in every one of my videos. Jana, do they ship to South Africa? I'm not sure. Anita says she really likes the Malaga yarn she got from Hobby Lucky Bag. You want more of the color you received? Up here, this top shelf here is all Malaga yarn. I love Malaga. If you could, you would, says Joe. Hobbyliciousness, right? All right, Ursula. Lisa is saying, if I had them, I would make anything that can with store-bought yarn. Yeah. Right? Hobby is totally wow says. Okay, so guys, hand-dyed yarn. So I'm here today to talk about everything you need to know, everything you need to look for, anything you need to think about and take into consideration when shopping for hand-dyed yarn online. Now, some of what I'm going to tell you is also good for when you shop for hand-dyed yarn in a store, or like a yarn festival, or fiber festival, or if you go to your local yarn shop and they hold different kinds of hand-dyed yarn. So some of these stuff is, you can take with you and use when you shop in person as well. But when you shop online, these pointers are more important because you can't actually hold the yarn in your hand. You can't actually see it in person, and you have to trust that you order online and you will get something that you actually like. So I want you guys now to tell me, like always, I like to start with a question. So tell me in the chat right now, what is your biggest fear that's holding you for shopping for hand-dyed yarn online? Hello, Maria. Hi, new subscriber. Welcome. Cheers to new subscriber. Cheers to you. Thank you for this awesome channel. Oh, thank you. Have you ever worked with Expression Fiber Arts? Yes, it's really lovely. It is. We'll talk about her today as well. Good morning, Verna. All right, so I'm gonna wait for you guys because there's a delay. So yeah, the question was, what are, you know, your biggest fears or what's keeping you most from shopping for hand-dyed yarn online? Anita is saying the cost and figuring out what to make with it. Debbie is saying the cost of shipping. Maria is saying her biggest fear is incorrect color. Or inaccurate color. Alice says the price as well. Jax is saying it's usually wool and she's allergic. Jax, stay with me. I have wonderful companies to recommend today. Color does not match the picture, says Joyce. And Dee is saying shipping with some of the companies. Yes, all very good arguments. I agree. Judy is saying getting yarn that I don't like the feel of or isn't actually the color I thought it was. Very good points. Jana is saying it's the price, especially for the amount needed for a project. Wool, I cannot wear wool next to my skin. Doris is saying her biggest fear using hand-dyed yarn is that I'm going to run out and there's no lot number to get the exact thing to purchase more. Anvita is saying color consistency between multiple skeins. Anita is saying she doesn't care for wool either, not allergic, but you prefer easy care. Lori says it will not feel good. It's thin or thick. Cost of shipping. Will it really be color fast or fad? Yes. Petra is saying seems like each company's wool are different softnesses. All right. So all very good points. And from reading through what you guys wrote, I think most of your fears we will be able to address today. And if at the end, of course, as always, if there's anything I did not address, you guys will be able to ask and we will answer. Hannah is saying she doesn't know if hand-dyed is mass-produced in handwork. Oh, you don't know if what they mass-produce as hand-dyed is actually hand-dyed. Not being able to throw it in the water, in the washer and dryer, says Kelly. And it's usually expensive. My biggest fear is muddy yarns and bleeding of color on my hands. And you're allergic to wool. Okay. So first of all, I just want to say, you know, side note for everyone right now. The main point of today's live is not to talk about specific companies. I was going to give a few, you know, of my favorites in the end, but since a lot of you have already mentioned the thing with wool, I have mentioned many times in my channel, the Mermaid's Purse yarns. She does hand-dyed yarns and she holds a lot of yarns that are not wool, although she does hold wool as well. She actually has yarn clubs, different yarn clubs, and one of them is specifically only plant-based fibers. And now that I think of it, it's the only website that I forgot to put the link in the description box below. So I will update it for the replay. But Catherine, if you could please grab the link of the Mermaid's Purse yarns and drop it in the chat now for me, I will highly appreciate it. And everyone who looks for hand-dyed yarn but doesn't want wool, check out the Mermaid's Purse yarns, as well as another company that actually is linked down below, and that's Vegan Yarns. Now, Vegan Yarns, which, as I've said, their link is in the description box below, they only do vegan and molesting-free yarns. They have a very high selection, large selection of high-quality, hand-dyed, plant-based fiber yarns. So I have shown them on my channel once before when we had the Vegan Yarns Yarniversity. I'm going to show them again today, and the link is in the description box below for you guys, and I cannot recommend them enough. And again, if you are a repeating viewer of my channel, you know how much I love plant-based fibers, and you know how much of a fan I am of companies that are friendly to the environment. So they are very, very high on that list, especially because they do hand-dyed plant-based fibers. So definitely go check Vegan Yarns. Their link is in the description box below, and the Mermaid's Purse yarns, which Catherine will put in the chat. Hannah says she bought hand-dyed yarn from Catherine. Yes, wonderful. She is my favorite dyer, you guys know. How do you know if you are ordering from someone who is credible or from someone who doesn't really know what they are doing? We will talk about that too, Jana. Lori says, I'm also allergic to wool and I worry the color won't stay on the fibers. Is wool alpaca wool? Yeah, alpaca yarn is considered wool because it's made out of the wool of alpaca. However, alpaca is a hypoallergenic fiber, and most people, let's say 90% of the people who are allergic to wool are not allergic to alpaca. There are these 10% who are also allergic to alpaca. There's only one way to find out, and that is to try alpaca. But as a whole, alpaca yarn is hypoallergenic. Thank you, Catherine, for putting that link in there. Hi, Denise. Welcome in. Heard alpaca is non-allergenic. Yes, exactly. That's what I just said. Hello, Life's a Jam. Welcome in. Yes. So, if you have joined in late, please don't forget to hit the like button. And if you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I would very much appreciate it. Yes, Catherine, Little Vicious Stitches. She's my favorite dyer. She's here in the chat. Her link is also in the description box below, and there's 15% off on her website to viewers of my channel. Non-affiliated. I don't get anything from it, but you know, you guys do. Yeah, alpaca yarn is also considered a cloud, says Lacey. Cherie is saying, I'm currently working on Nicole C. Mendez pumpkin patch yarn right now, making some pumpkin earrings. You love her yarns. I do too. She's actually on my list as well, and her link is down below as well. Morning Salutation yarn, based on your recommendation, worked up nicely. Yes, I love that yarn. Creme Case Soul Wool. Hi, Gina, the Knitting Turnpike. Good to see you here, working and listening. Welcome. Lurkers are welcome. All right, so all very, very good points. I hope that I will be able to help at least a little bit today. Now, the first thing I want to tell you all when we start talking about hand-dyed yarn, and that is something that I personally feel like it needs to be said, and I wish it would have been said more often. And sometimes it takes someone else saying it and, you know, hearing it from someone else for that to click in our heads. So I'm going to start by saying this. It is very important that we all remember that hand-dyed yarn, especially the hand-dyed yarn that we buy from indie dyers, from independent small businesses, it is a handmade object. That means someone made it by hand. So sometimes, like I said, you need to hear someone else say it in order for that to click in your head, because all of us as crocheters and knitters and, you know, fiber artists, when we make something, when we crochet something and we want to sell it and we put a price on it and people tell us that it's, you know, why is it so expensive, or ask us questions to that effect, and we get insulted because, you know, because it's handmade. It took me time, you know, that my time to make it and the effort that I put into making it. Or when we give someone a handmade gift and they don't appreciate all the effort that we put behind it. and we get insulted. So the people who dye yarn, for that effect, the hand-dyed yarn, the finished product for them is that skein, hank, whatever, of hand-dyed yarn that they produced. And so they are putting a price on that, which is, of course, more than the price of just bare yarn and some dye to dye it, because there is a lot that comes with it. There is, aside from, you know, their personal effort and their wish to, you know, earn a living from said item that they are selling, there's also the cost, the what we call buy cost in Germany, everything that comes along with the cost of, you know, just the cost of the yarn. So there is the cost of the yarn, but there's also the cost of the dye and the cost of the water that you use in the dyeing process and the electricity that you use in the dyeing process, and, you know, everything that comes along with it. If you have a dye studio and you pay rent on a dye studio, and if you also, you know, want to be paid for your time, that whole collection of extras is embodied in the price of hand-dyed yarn. So of course, hand-dyed yarn is more expensive than going to, you know, any big box store and buying yarn. Also, it is important to voice out that this is their handwork. You know, they, just like we go to craft fairs and people ask us why this is so expensive, they come from the same place. So for us as crocheters, when someone asks us why something we make is so expensive, to ask dyers why do they put such a high you know, amount on their hand-dyed yarn is a bit unfair. And so of course, we all make our own calculations. If the price is too much for me, I wouldn't buy it, and I wouldn't buy for any price. And of course, there are dyers out there who price their yarns in ridiculous prices that you shouldn't pay because it's not worth it. That said, you know, it is a hand-dyed, handmade product that you are buying. So please keep that in mind. Of course, it is more expensive than the big box yarn that you buy in the stores. There are what we call mass-produced hand-dyed yarns, which someone was asking in the chat. How can I know if those mass-produced hand-dyed yarns are actually hand-dyed? There are ways in which we can find that out, and we will talk about it later. But if you do want to have a yarn that has that hand-dyed yarn effect, but don't want to pay the higher prices that indie dyers and independent small businesses charge, then you can always buy the hand-dyed yarn from the mass-produced companies. And I put links to some of them in the description box below. You know, we all know them, Malabrigo and Schachenmeier has one, Lana Grossa has one. Some of the bigger companies have, you know, hand-dyed collection. But yes, they're going to be more expensive than your regular, I don't know, Karen acrylic, you know, all those big mass-produced yarns that you can just go to Walmart or Hobby Lobby in the US, or here in Europe to, I don't know, Woolworth, Action, any kind of this kind of big box stores where we buy our yarns, and even Wallerodel and Hobby, you know, they hold all these yarns that they are, you know, mass produced, very, very nice quality, but they're not hand-dyed yarns, and you cannot compare. Okay, you cannot say, oh, why would I buy this, you know, hand-dyed yarn from this dyer that costs like 25 euros a skein, when I can just go to the store and get acrylic for 90 cents. You know, it's not comparable. It's not the same thing. So if you compare hand-dyed yarn, compare it to hand-dyed yarn. And I feel, you know, it was important to start by saying that. Right, what were you guys saying while I was blabbering along? Melissa of Crochet and Agreement dyes not only wool but cotton and acrylic as well. She's in the USA, says D. Thank you for that, D. So those of you in the US, it's good to know. Ursula is saying, I first tried that when I was testing a crochet pattern for, oh, you're talking to someone else, sorry. Anita is saying, I understand why it costs more, still doesn't change my yarn budget though. Yeah, of course, Anita, like I said, nobody's like making anyone buying hand-dyed yarn, but if you do branch out to buying hand-dyed yarn, you need to understand why it's more expensive. Alice is saying it all adds up, but what I don't get is why farmers can't seem to get of this. Why farmers don't seem to get a decent or fair price for producing the wool in the first place. Yeah, that is a good question, not something I can answer. Reggie, is there a way to fix that is hand dyed and that does bleed on your hands as you use it? Yes, there is. We will talk about it in a second. I have found one that is more affordable for me personally though, and I placed an order. Okay, that's good to Nita. Hi, Francie. Lacey's saying, thank you for saying that, Reggie. These dyers work so hard, and maybe you wouldn't make a blanket out of indigo yarn, exactly, but you would make an item if it, that, right, it will be more special. It's totally worth the money. I agree, but I mean, again, it's not for everyone, so it's very important. I'm not telling you all to now go and buy hand-dyed yarn. This live is aimed at people who want to buy hand-dyed yarn or who buy hand-dyed yarn and want to know what to look at and what is important to notice. I'm not telling you all go now buy hand-dyed yarn. Like, I'm not saying this is something you need in your life. I'm saying if you are interested in buying hand-dyed yarn but you have fears, then I'm going to talk about what you need to look at in order to, you know, reduce or the amount of possible disappointment that you might have when you get it, or aiming towards what you're actually looking for and getting what it is that you wanted and not something else. But I'm not here to tell you all this is why you need to buy hand-dyed yarn. Okay, it's not this kind of live. We each love our own thing. Some of us, you know, very much like to work with regular acrylic, you know, that you buy in the store, and that's fine, and that is totally okay. I am not like being snobbish here. I'm not like, you're using acrylic, I'm using hand-dyed wool. You know, no, that is definitely not that. I use a lot of acrylic as well. Look at the amount of cookies sitting on my shelf here, 100% acrylic. Look at all the Hobby Horizon here. I have like an abundance of, you know, Malaga up there, an abundance of acrylic wool. I use acrylic wool, acrylic yarn. I use acrylic yarn. I use acrylic blends. I use a lot of different fibers. So it's not like I'm not being a snob here telling you all go buy hand-dyed yarn. I'm trying, as a person who does buy hand-dyed yarn and use it a lot, I'm trying to give pointers to those of you who want to but are wary of it because you've never done it before or you don't know exactly what to expect. Catherine is saying, that's my take on it as well. Each project has different yarn requirements. That is correct. Hi, Mocha. Welcome in. Good to see you. Oh, blinked out. Oh. Thanks. Exactly, to help educate when you do purchase, to help you make your purchase. Now, Gina asked before if there is a way to prevent bleeding on hand-dyed yarn. Hand-dyed yarn that bleeds color mainly means that something in the dye process didn't work quite as it should have, and there wasn't enough binding. Now, if it is a wool or a protein-based yarn, I would suggest just like bathing it with a little bit of vinegar and cold water, and maybe wash it off with another bath of cold water with some dish soap to make sure that it doesn't bleed anymore. But mainly when the yarn still bleeds or color comes off of it, when you work with it, it means something in the dye process went wrong, or once the dye process was finished, the person who washed the dye afterwards before, hanging it up and selling it, didn't wash it until all the bleeding stopped. And that is something that, those of you who do dye yarn, that once, the dye is set, you wash the yarn to get rid of all the excess colors, and if you don't do that enough time until there's actually no more color coming out, then the result will be the yarn bleeding on the hands of the person using it. So if you just, put it in like a bath, like a bowl of cold water with some vinegar, like 2 spoons of vinegar for like a bowl of water, and like let it sit for a while and then wash it out, and then wash it with cold water and some dish soap, and just like, a little, like squeeze it a little bit to get rid of all the excess colors. Anita is saying she loves most yarn, only worked with 2 that she hated. It was Karen Kindness. I don't know that one, sorry. Catherine is saying, have I love my good bargain as much as I do hand-dyed? Yes, you just can't compare them. It's like the store-bought ice cream versus freshly made from a small shop. Exactly, both are great. But they're not something that you can compare. Would like to figure out how to find dyer here in the city or neighborhood town. Oh, Lori, that is a good question. I think that the last thing that I'm going to talk about sort of like touches that. On a personal note, I wish more hand dyers would offer caking up service. Some do for $1 or $2 per hank. I'm willing to pay that because of oh yeah, okay, I totally get that. That is something, by the way, that if you buy from a certain dyer and they don't offer it in the shop, like totally email them or write them a personal message and ask. Great idea with the vinegars, says Catherine. Oh yeah, well, Catherine is a yarn dyer, so if you have like specific question about yarn dyeing, she's here for now, you can ask her. Sometimes there are color that don't exhaust, meaning, sorry, again, sometimes there are just colors that don't exhaust, meaning sorry, I don't know that word. Usually that is turquoise or reds and black colors, says Catherine. I'm so sorry, I have no idea what that means. If you do not like the smell of vinegar, citric acid powder helps as well, says DB. Yes, that is correct. Every time I watch a vlog of dyeing yarn, I still can't believe they put wool in water close to the boiling point. Yeah, I agree. It is amazing how that works. Maria says she made the mistake of watching a video on how acrylic yarn is made, and now I have guilt complex about it. Yeah, we were talking about that when we were talking about recycled yarns. Yeah, no, acrylic is not friendly to the environment at all. And if you can avoid using it, you should, but it's still, it's still good. Gina saying, thank you so much. I have a bright blue yarn, and every time I use it, my fingers are blue. Oh, all right. So that was, a side note, something that I felt like should be said. We should all appreciate Decept is like they don't disappear. Oh, all right. Thank you, Catherine. So I felt like it's something that should be said and that we should all remember. Those of us who do buy hand-dyed yarn, you should remember I'm talking about when you buy from small businesses, from independent dyers who sell their yarns independently or through Etsy or something like that. The price that they put, especially if they sell it on Etsy, because Etsy takes a cut off of your earnings, so most of the time they calculate that in as well. Because they don't have their own website, and those who do have their own website pay for that. So the cost of having your own domain also goes into the price of what it is that you're selling on it. So I felt like it should be very, like it should be said, and it's something that you should take into consideration. If you do buy hand-dyed yarn, we will talk about prices and what are like relatively or considerably good prices and what are overpriced, and also what are like lower prices that should be maybe like wary about. But we will talk about that in a little bit. But remember, the price is higher because everything I just said. I think she's talking about like indigo blue. It's impossible to even rinse it all out, says Doris. Yes, Catherine, I am experiencing that as well, and I think it's the price of living here in Germany. I just speak like English mixed with German, and if the people don't understand what I'm saying, I pretend that it's their fault. Okay, so first thing I think that you should note when... Okay, wait. Sorry. I do have to put one more disclaimer before I start giving advice. Again, because I'm a person who features hand-dyed yarn on my channel very often, everything I tell you guys about the yarns that I buy, about dyers that I buy from, about stores that I recommend, and so on, and my opinions about certain yarns are my own opinions. Just as my opinions are my opinions, my impressions, just the same, any other influencer online, doesn't matter how many followers they have, be it on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, it does not matter how many followers they have, their opinion is an opinion and should be considered as such. So, and I am included in that saying. So you can agree with me, you can also disagree with me, and that is fine on this channel. There are channels when that is not fine. My channel is not one of them. I absolutely have no problem with people disagreeing with me. I think all opinions are, as long as they are opinions, are valid. So if you don't agree with me, that is fine, and you are more than welcome to tell me that you don't agree with me, and we can both agree to disagree on different things. But any influencer that you watch should be, in my opinion, again, considered the same way. So even if someone that you highly appreciate tells you about a certain indie dyer that they are amazing, that does not necessarily mean that once you will get the yarn, it will actually be as amazing as they said it would be. And also, if when you get it, it is not as amazing as you thought it would be, it is fine. It's nothing wrong with you, okay? It's not everyone agree on that kind of things. Hand-dyed yarn, because of its versatility, because each dyer uses different dyes and different yarn bases and different methods and does a different work, and because every dye bath they do is different and it will never be exactly the same, it's not a machine. And we even see it on yarns that do come out of the machine, that they have different in colors between them every now and then. And even those yarns who come out of the machines have dye lots on them because sometimes they have different colors. So it's even more when it comes to hand-dyed yarns. So if someone tells you you gotta buy this yarn, it is amazing, and you get it and you are underwhelmed, that is fine. And you're allowed to say it. Okay? You are allowed to disagree with people. So I just thought that it is important because I have been getting, well, at least I got 2 emails from 2 different people regarding or asking me about different dyers that I did not have experience with, but they saw someone else on their channel recommending, and they wanted to know if I knew them. And I just want to tell you guys, of course, if I don't know the dyer, I will tell you guys, I'm sorry, I don't know the dyer, I never bought from them before. I cannot tell you yes or no or what I think of them. But even if I do, my opinion is, it's my opinion, and that influencer's opinion is their opinion, and there's nothing to promise that their opinion and your opinion will be the same. So once again, when going to buy hand-dyed yarn online, you need to consider the points that I'm going to tell you to consider through your own eyes and not through anyone else's eyes. So even if someone tells you this dyer, you have to go check them out, and you go on their website and you see the pictures and you're not overwhelmed, or you see the picture and you do like it, but you're not exactly 100% sure, then, go through these points and see if they work for you. It is true to any yarn in general, but it is more true when it comes to hand-dyed yarn because of the huge versatility of it. What? Don't you verstehen me? Exactly. Ursula is saying she's here to hear my opinion. All right, thank you, Ursula. I'm glad you all want to hear my opinion. Catherine is cooking dinner, and Julie's saying hi to all, just got here. Hi, welcome in, Julie. You didn't miss anything. So, now that I've said all of that, and, I gave my disclaimer, I'm gonna, give you guys pointers and advice on what you should look for when you shop for hand-dyed yarn. Catherine is saying, agreed, Reggie, but if I tend to like the same things as you do, so as I do, and you tried a certain yarn, chances are I'm going to have the same opinion as you do. Yeah, well, Catherine, not a lot of people are like me and you. If any of you could see the private chats going on between Catherine and I, we enable each other every single day, so sending each other things that we need to buy. Jax is saying she values my opinion because I educate myself, making my opinion the fact. Oh, thank you. Kartoffelgratin mit broccoli. Ooh, that sounds very nice. That sounds very nice. All right, yeah. So, and in regards to what I was saying about influencers on different platforms recommending different dyers that they buy from, just remember that if a certain influencer normally doesn't use hand-dyed yarn, so if you follow a certain influencer on Instagram or on TikTok or on YouTube or on Facebook, on any other social media, and their go-to yarns are big brands, big box stores, and so on, and then they show you a certain hand-dyed yarn and they tell you it's amazing, then their opinion is a little different because they don't have as much experience as someone else, and a different influencer who only buys hand-dyed yarn. Okay, so that's, if you've never used hand-dyed yarn before, the first hand-dyed yarn that you're going to hold in your hand is going to be amazing, no matter who the dyer is, no matter if their dyeing method is this or that, no matter if the quality of their dyeing is amazing or terrible, because if it is the first time ever that you're using hand-dyed yarn, it will be way better than everything you used up until now, because it's a different level than, you know, mass-produced big box yarns. But if you continue buying from different dyers and try different ones, then with time you will understand that that first one that you held in your hand may not have been so amazing as you originally thought when you held it, right? Catherine is saying, I would assume so too, but we will have to see what the midget jury has to say. Midget jury, I love that. Yeah, okay, so now after all the disclaimers, here's the first thing that you need to look out for or notice when you shop for hand-dyed yarns online. The first thing you need to consider is, who are you buying from? So who are you buying from? Under this category of who are you buying from is that storefront that I'm looking at, be it someone's private website or a storefront on Etsy, do they have a certain philosophy? Now, if you are on Etsy and you're looking at someone's store and you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll have like an about the dyer or about the seller. Now, just for the purpose of demonstration, I'm going to use wait, I have to open the shop that I wanted to talk to you about. So 1 second. Okay. So just for the purpose of explaining what I'm talking about, I'm going to take you guys with me to an Etsy shop. This specific one is Wildflower Yarn. I had a video about her on my channel. But when you scroll all the way down, you pass the shop, past the reviews, past everything, all the way down here, you have about Wildflower Yarns. And if a person took the time and filled out that section of their store, then you will be able to read a little bit about them and about their philosophy, how they dye, and, you know, about them as a person and so on. Not every seller on Etsy fills out that section. Some of them do, some of them don't. But if they do, then you can find out a little bit about that seller, their philosophy, what kind of yarns that they use, and so on. Also, when you go into certain listings, some sellers will just say this is a merino nylon blend, and some sellers will actually write this is a molesting free 75% Highland wool, you know, will go into more details and to let you know what kind of materials they use. So if this is the kind of thing that is important to you, then you can read that. And if you go on someone's specific website, once again, I'm using someone who I'm already familiar with. So this is by Emily. Again, I had a whole video about her and I showed you guys yarns that I got from her shop, and I told you guys about her philosophy of sustainability in her business, and she actually has a page in her website telling about her sustainability philosophy, and you know, and she has an about page where you can read about her and what brought her to dye yarn. So if you are buying on someone's website, then, you know, go check out those pages, you know, make sure who the dyer is, what do they tell you about themselves and their business slash, you know, dyeing philosophy. What do they do to ensure that you are getting a high quality product from them? Midget jury, yes. Hello, Renee, welcome in. Yes, Catherine, we both are. Yeah, Hannah is as well. Yeah, we have a very, very high bar. Those of you who use Little Vicious Stitches, yeah, you start with a high bar. Okay, so, finding out who the seller is, what their philosophy is, how they view their business, and what do they do in order to give you a good product, sorry. Also, if it is important to you to find out if the business uses molasses-free, animal-friendly fibers, if their yarns are certified with the GOTS and the OCOTICs, for those of you who live in Europe and know what those are. So these are things that I would, consider and look out for. They ensure the quality of the base product, so of the yarn itself, where the dyeing process begins. So you want to know that the dyer that you're buying from is using good materials, in their work, and not just, takes whatever is on sale, or sorry, my hair, takes whatever is on sale, or just like whatever is available to them, or just something that you don't actually want. And those of you who say that you had an experience where you bought a hand-dyed yarn, and when you actually felt it, it was nothing like what you wanted it to be, then this is where it all begins. Like, make sure that the ground materials, basic materials that the product is made out of, are of the highest quality. They have the right certifications, they come from the right place. And again, it might be a little harder to find out when you shop on places like Etsy, because not all the dyers will write that. I would, however, when shopping on Etsy, gravitate towards dyers who do tell you that in their business description or in the individual description of the products on their shop, because it shows that that they understand that it's important. If it doesn't say, if you are shopping on Etsy and it doesn't say, and it's important to you to find out, write them a personal message before asking all those questions. And if you're shopping on someone's website, if they don't put it in their about or their like philosophy page, then I would be wary. Because as a dyer, if you are a good dyer and you have a good dyeing business, yarn dyeing business, then you should, know these things and share these things with your customer. Because you understand that they are important, and you understand that they are important to the customer. Lacey is saying Trilogy Yarn has an amazing intro and it made me fall in love with her shop. Catherine saying molasses-free, animal-friendly, recycled. It's hard to know with large company. That's something I like about small businesses. Yes, I totally agree. Yes. Now, when I said to get to know who the dyer, who it is you're buying from, that also refers to, is it an independent dyer, a small business, or is it a big company? Now, this is a little, on one side, it is easy to determine. There are, as I've mentioned before, Lana Grossa and Schachenmeier and this kind of big box companies that come out with lines of hand-dyed yarn. But there are also like bigger companies of hand-dyed yarn. Under this falls, for example, Expression Fiber Arts that someone mentioned in the chat before. Expression Fiber Arts, although, Shandy is the face of the company, the one in the front, she is, everything is, in her name, under her supervision, and so on. They are not like an indie small company. They have their studio and they have dyers. So they have people who dye yarns for them. They have suppliers and so on. So they are, although it is a hand-dyed yarn company, it is a company. It is a bigger produced company. And there are different ones like that. she's not the only one. There are small independent dyers that have their own business and buy in small and dye yarn in small batches in their dye studio and hold their own business on their own. And there are hand dyed yarn companies for that effect. For example, Malabrigo yarns, that all their yarns are hand dyed yarns and very, very high quality, but they are a company. They are not an independent person holding their own business. To the same effect, Knit Crate, for example, they have, their own label. They work with different yarn mills, and they get their yarns from different yarn mills, and some of the yarns are hand dyed and so on, but they are a company. Okay, so you need to make that distinguish between small independent businesses holding on their own, dyeing on their own in small batches, and hand-dyed yarn that is from a bigger hand-dyed yarn company. Any opinion on Wonderland yarns? No idea. I've never tried them before. I think that's another yarn brand that's more available in the US and not that common here in Europe. But yes, indie dyer versus hand dyed but bigger company. The price will be different. Obviously, the yarn companies' prices will be higher on if it's a hand-dyed yarn company, their prices will most likely be higher. If it is a mass-produced company like Schachenmeier, Lana Grossa, Lion Brand, and so on, who has a line of hand-dyed yarns, then their hand-dyed yarns will probably be cheaper because they're already on the mass-produce agenda, meaning they can sell a hank of hand-dyed yarn for a much lower price. A big example for that is one of those hand-dyed yarns from Hobby Lobby that were sent to me in Happy Mail by some subscribers. And those hand-dyed yarn hanks from Hobby Lobby, they had their, I think it was it Yarn Bee? They had like their line of hand-dyed yarns. I don't know if they still have that. Again, you guys in the US, maybe you can update us if those are still selling. But on the sale, at the Hobby Lobby sale, they sold for like, I don't know, $1 each. Of course, indie dyers who are not mass-produced companies cannot afford to sell their yarns for $1 a hank. Right, that is the point. Hand-dyed yarn doesn't equal indie dyer. That's two different things, and it's important to understand. There are a lot of people who don't understand that, especially people who don't shop for hand-dyed yarn regularly, and then they say, oh wait, I can get this hand-dyed yarn from this big company that they have like a hand-dyed yarn line for $14, or I can shop this indie dyer on Etsy and theirs is like $25. So there's a big difference. Why would I want to buy the more expensive one? Again, hand-dyed doesn't equal indie dyed. Two different things. And yes, there are big companies who sell hand-dyed yarns. I personally think that if you do go for big company that sells hand-dyed yarn, go for companies like Darn Good Yarn, who have good philosophy, who work with materials that are friendly to the environment and everything that, I just stated before that you should look for in a company. Their prices will be lower because they are a big company and not an indie dyer. but it will still be hand-dyed yarn. Also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that Darn Good Yarn also sell Malabrigo on their website. So it's not a Darn Good Yarn brand, it's Malabrigo, but they sell it on their website because it fits their agenda. So, you know, if you do go to buy Malabrigo, buy it from the website. Oh, sorry. Buy it from the right website. I put some links, as I've said, in the description box below to places where you should look for those yarns. So I did put the Schachenmeier hand-dyed yarn in there, and I did put links to the Lana Grossa hand-dyed yarns. So those are like the mass-produced big box hand-dyed yarns. And I also put links to all the indie dyers, so you can really see the difference between the two things. Yes, Hobby Lobby does sell those too, but I agree it's not what I consider hand-dyed. Yes, it is two different things. And the last thing when we talk about who are you buying from is find out everything you can. So find out if you buy from an indie dyer, okay, from someone who's a private person who dyes yarn and sells them either on Etsy or on their website. Where do they dye their yarns? Do they have a studio or do they do it in their kitchen? What materials do they use? What kind of dye do they use? What kind of fiber do they use? What method do they use to dye? But also, is their home or the place where they dye, is it pet-free? Is it smoke-free? If they are a smoker, do they smoke around the yarn? That is very, very important. If maybe they don't smoke, maybe they vape. There are people who are very, very sensitive to that as well. So you want to know if these kind of things happen around the yarn, come in contact with the yarn before you get the yarn. Need to consider that a lot of these people dye in their yarn room, or their dye room is in their home. So if they have a pet that walks around the house, it could be a cat, it could be a dog, it could be, I don't know, a lizard, whatever. Or as I've said, if they or someone else in the house smokes or vapes or anything like that, if you can find that out before buying from them, that might be important to you. I mean, I know it's important to me. It might not be important to everyone, but if it is important to you, you should consider that. And and this is the kind of stuff that people will not put on their website and will not put on their Etsy shop. So if it is important to you, if it is a dyer that you've never bought from before, I would write them. So like write them, especially on Etsy. That's what the platform is for. The platform of Etsy allows you to contact the seller before you buy from them. I do that all the time, and you shouldn't feel wary of doing that. Every seller who is on Etsy knows. And even more if you're buying on someone's website, if it's an indie dyer that sells by themselves, but they have their own website, and it's not anywhere on the website, it doesn't say if their dye studio is pet-free or smoke-free, write them a message. Use the contact form, use the email, whatever is on the website. If they have a link to their Instagram or to their Facebook, message them there and say, hi, I would really love to purchase from your shop. Could you please just confirm that all your yarn and surroundings are pet-free and smoke-free, or anything else free that is important to you. Catherine is saying, yes, if you want to try hand dyes, it's good to have a cheaper option that fits your budget. Yes, right. After all, hand-dyed yarn is very different from any other yarn. I totally agree. Debbie saying smoke-free is very important to me. I agree. It's very important to me as well. Yeah, lizard. Lacey's saying you should sub to their Instagram too, because a lot of times indie dyers do post photos of them dyeing or their yarn dyeing. or other stuff that will give a good idea of the environment. Yes, that is a very, very good advice, Lacey. Debbie's saying she's very allergic to cats. Yeah, see? So if you buy hand-dyed yarn from someone who dyes in their own home, or you don't even know where they dye, but they are an independent dyer, or they're a private person selling yarn, then you should, you know, find that out. You don't want to be surprised later. A lot of dyers, so hand-dyed yarn is not like it's anyone today. Really, today, in today's internet, in today's day and age, anyone can open an Etsy shop and sell their hand-dyed yarn. There is no one who will like make them put, like, there's no standard on that. There's no like stamp that you need to have in order to sell hand-dyed yarn. So like there's no controlling of what is allowed and what is not allowed, and some people don't care. They dye yarn, they want to sell it. They don't think, are my customers allergic to a certain animal that I have around the house? Are they allergic to certain smells? And so on. So, or maybe they are just in generally very, very sensitive to smells, and I have a certain air freshener in my dye studio. I know people who are very sensitive to smells, up to the point where they cannot be in a room where you light a scented candle. So that is important. Those people, if you are very sensitive to certain smells and you buy something that was made in someone's home, you want to know how they behaved around that something that you're buying from them. Hannah is saying, so right, I see a hand dyer on YouTube live smoking. I will not buy from this. Oh my god, if I've seen something like that, I wouldn't either. Someone who's a hand dyer sitting or showing on YouTube and they are smoking next to the yarn that they are selling, and people buy from them? Francie's saying, I'm thinking while crocheting, can indie dyers use the sewer system for their wastewater, or do you pay extra fees? That is a good question. Maybe Catherine can answer if she's still here. Catherine is saying, if it's a small business, it's okay, she thinks. Okay. Hannah, that is a shock for me, and no, I would definitely not buy from that person. Absolutely not. And if you guys watch someone, if you see someone, it doesn't matter, like YouTube, Instagram live, TikTok video, or whatever, if someone shows themselves in their yarn room or in the process of dyeing their yarn and they're doing something that you wouldn't let be done around your yarn, then don't buy from that person. No, Hannah, definitely not. We don't do that here. But we don't, say bad things about people in public like that. But like if I would have come across something like that, I would not buy from them. Rosemary is saying, this is simply an amazing video on hand-dyed yarns. You mean this one? Thank you. And Doris is saying, absolutely, it's very important. And hi, HD, hi, Reggie, and everyone lurking, listening, and working. Thank you for joining in. All right, so as I've said, know who the person you're buying from. Know who the person you're buying from is. Find out whatever you can about that person, about the materials they use to dye, about how the methods. If you're talking to a dyer, or if you're trying to reach out to a dyer to find out about something and you're asking them about their methods and they can't give you a clear answer, they don't know what they're talking about and they're probably not a professional hand dyer, okay? So if you're trying to like converse with them about how their dyeing process goes and they can't really tell you, I wouldn't buy from them. So like converse. If it's Etsy, converse, because that's what Etsy's for. That's why Etsy exists, you know, so you can actually message the sellers before you buy from them. And if it's not on Etsy, if it's someone's private website, use the contact form and ask them all the questions that you can. And like Lacey said, which was a very good advice, I think, is follow them on social media and try to see if they have like pictures or videos of them in their dye studio. Varna is saying same here, Hannah. Your cowl on the mannequin is beautiful. Thank you, Renee. That's my new shawl. Thank you. It will be released soon. Kelly is saying, I'm a smoker and I would never smoke around yarn or something I'm making to sell. Exactly, Kelly. I mean, I'm not saying people who work with yarn can be smokers. I say they shouldn't smoke around the yarn, especially if they're selling their products. Okay, so that is about who are you buying from and how to find out who you're buying from before buying from them. The second point that I think that you should pay attention to when buying hand-dyed yarn is, of course, the fiber content and the dyeing material. So when talking about fiber content, a lot of you were saying that you are either allergic to wool or can't handle wool and so on. I told you guys, I put some links in the description box below to different companies. Some of them also work with other fibers, specifically vegan yarns. I cannot recommend them enough. They have a huge, I will talk about them in a little bit, but they have a huge selection of plant-based materials. And but if you do use wool, you need to find out what wool is it. Some dyers will write it's 75% wool and 25% nylon and will not like elaborate on that. But you should probably find out what kind of wool is it. Is it Shetland wool, Highland wool, llama wool, alpaca wool, yuck, cashmere, merino, superwash, non-superwash? These kind of stuff are important because you want to know as a crocheter, it will affect the final result. It will affect the final object that you're going to make with that yarn. So it's important to know. If it doesn't say, again, contact the seller, ask them. It says that it's 80% wool. What kind of wool? Is it superwash? Is it this? Is it that? Why? Because we all know that merino is softer than Shetland, and there's a Highland wool from Peru, and there's Highland wool from, you know, a different South American country. And there is yuck that feels one way, and there is llama and alpaca that feel another way, and there is cashmere, and they are all, you know, angora, and they're all different kinds of wool. So if it just says wool and it doesn't elaborate and you want to know what kind of wool it is, then ask. So what sort of wool is it? If it's a blend, if it has sparkle, what is the sparkle? Does it say? I have come across enough dyers that you know, mark their yarn base as sparkly, but they wouldn't say if it's stellina or is it lurex. And for those of us who work with hand-dyed yarn, there's a difference. Stellina is amazingly soft. Lurex scratches your skin. You feel it in the yarn. When you feel yarn that has sparkle in it and the sparkle is lurex, you feel that it's different than the rest of the yarn. If it's stellina, you don't. So if it is stellina, is it gold stellina, rose gold stellina? Is it silver stellina? You know, it's these all kind of things. Sometimes you don't see on the pictures, and if it just says the word in the description, and it's not enough for you because you want to know when it comes, what is it exactly? We cannot trust the pictures online. We all know that there are thousands of filters and programs to adjust your pictures and to make them look better than they actually are in reality, and then you get the yarn and it's like, oh, this looks nothing like the picture, right? Why? Because it's today and it's the internet. So, find out, ask, and gravitate towards sellers that don't make you ask. Sellers who have it written on their website what kind of wool they use, what kind of base they use. There are even sellers that I've come across that tell you what company they buy their bare yarn from. Gravitate towards those, the ones who are open and tell you and share with you what their base materials are. Those are the ones you should gravitate towards. Because they give you information and they make it easier for you to buy the yarn online. Now, if you buy something that says it's 100% wool or it's 100% merino, oh, so many people talk about merino. I hear about it on YouTube all the time. I hear about it on Instagram. Everyone's like talking, raving about merino. So I bought this yarn. It's 100% merino, and then I put it in the wash and it felted like crazy. Why? Because it wasn't superwash merino. It didn't say it anywhere. I just assumed. Guys, you're buying hand-dyed yarn online. You're already paying that extra money. Make sure you know what exactly are you getting. All right, this raised the question, can you get the smoke smell out? Asks Catherine. I wouldn't want to, deal with that. Kelly is saying, yes, Kat, you can get the smoke smell out. Washing with vinegar will remove the smoke smell. Good to know. I only know this because my adult kids that don't smoke hate the smell, so have to wash things going to them with vinegar added to the wash. Debbie says, I wouldn't know the difference in the wools. I'm learning from you. Oh, well, Debbie, I have a Yarniversity where I explain all the difference of the wools. It is the how to shop online for yarn or something like that, like the general how to shop online from yarn, not this one, the specific one that's about hand-dyed yarn. I think it was like somewhere around January, and in that Yarniversity I explained exactly what each kind of wool is. So if you guys are interested in that, go back to my channel, take the Yarniversity playlist and look for that video, how to shop online for yarn. I don't remember what I named it right now. I'm really, really sorry. But I think it was maybe like the full guide to buying yarn online. And I spoke exactly about each and every kind of yarn, wool in there. Mocha is saying, that drives me nuts. Wool is not wool. They're different. Right, I agree. I can use merino with no problem, but other types give me hives. I've actually had dyers tell me wool is wool. Guess who didn't get a sale? Exactly. I so agree. Dyers who don't understand that definitely are not worth your money. Hi Wanda, welcome in. Rosemary says, I make use of a caking service at a yarn dyer. Yeah, there are ones that supply that. Catherine says, Kelly, I was raised by smokers. My boyfriends were all smokers, but I don't smoke myself. I simply don't smell it because I'm just used to it. But it's good to know that vinegar trick, and I can tell. Yeah, that it's a good trick. Kath, I can't either. My kids have to do the smell test for me, says Kelly. Catherine says, seriously, Mocha? Yeah, I wouldn't trust them either. Makes sense. If it's the lanolin you are allergic to, it makes a big difference. Yes, it is. Denise is saying there are enough yarn dyers that you can most likely find a dyer that fits your needs. Yes, I totally agree. Yes, exactly. Never assume. Never assume. Always ask. So find out what exactly kind of bases are they using, and find out what sort of dye are they using. Again, if this is something that's important to you, I personally prefer dyers that use some kind of natural dye, but not all of them. So sometimes I will buy from a dyer because I just absolutely love the way they dye. But for example, by Emily, that I was telling you guys about, her entire business and her entire philosophy is what drew me towards her. Excuse me, something fell down. I wanted to show you a certain yarn, but everything fell down. So this is what drew me towards her business, her entire philosophy, and the fact that she only uses friendly to the environment materials. And if it's something that's important to you, the kind of dye that the dyer uses, find out. Also, in regards to what I was telling you guys before, that there is no like certificate on hand-dyed yarn. There's not like anyone watching what certain people sell online as hand-dyed yarn, and no one is like making sure that everyone's up to a standard, right? So there are dyers who just dye different wool blends with food coloring, because dyeing yarn one-on-one is put your yarn with some Kool-Aid, that's maybe nice when you start to experiment with dyeing yarns, dyeing your yarns with food coloring, but I wouldn't necessarily buy yarn that is dyed with food coloring. Do you get my drift? So yeah, make sure. So that is in the term of find out what is the yarn and what is the dye and what is it made of. Mocha is saying, I bought a Swift and ball winder because I found that spending the time doing that tells me whether or not it's a yarn I'm going to want to work with. So agree, Mocha. I cannot tell you. I stopped buying. There are two dyers. I stopped buying from two dyers that I'm not buying from anymore because when trying to cake up their yarns, I got so annoyed. I'm not buying from that person anymore. If they cannot, do the basic effort of making it easy for me to cake up my yarn, they don't care about me enough to be worth my money. Hi, everyone coming in. Hello. I think that I missed VJ. And did I miss anyone else? Carrie. Hi, Carrie. And Inaya's Toy Box. Hi, hello. And my screen oh, okay, now all the comments came. Kelly is saying, I cake my yarn by hand using the paper towel cardboard thingy. Do you use a Swift? Me? Yes, I use a yarn ball and a yarn baller and a Swift. All right, my comments are not coming up. They will in a second. Hi, Elisa. Right, Elisa. Yes, Inaya's Toy Box is Elisa. I knew that. See, all the names are escaping me today. Hi, VJ. All right, everyone was just saying hi to everyone. Okay, so I didn't miss anything. So, next point. Oh, suddenly all the comments come up. Francie saying, Fruity Knitting recently had an episode with an item on plant-based yarns. The colors were gorgeous. I will look for it. I will look that up. Fruity Knitting. Wait, let me write it down. Thanks. Hannah is saying there is a yarn dyer in Germany. She dyes only with herbs, flowers, etc. I heard that these natural colors could sometimes also trigger allergy. Can that be so? I have no idea, Hannah, but I can only imagine that if you color, if you dye a yarn with, for example, any kind of nut-based concentrate, then if you're allergic to nuts, it might not be good for you. I can only assume, that if she dyes with a certain herb that you are allergic to, and because she's using natural dyes, there's probably not a lot of other things in that mixture other than that herb. And of course, I know people who, for example, are allergic to turmeric, and if you buy yarn that was dyed with turmeric, yeah, that wouldn't be very good. All right, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is colors. And when I'm talking about the colors, I'm talking about the actual color of the yarn. So not the dye, because that was the previous thing that I would talk about, colors. So after you found out who the dyer is and that you like their business and their philosophy and how they treat you as a customer and how they treat themselves and how they treat their yarns and the materials they use, and that they speak to you and you vetted them, yeah? So now it's time to actually look at the yarn. And how do I buy something that I would be happy with? So the first thing is, does it speak to you? Does the yarn speak to you? Do you look at the pictures and it calls your name and, it inspires you and gives you tons of ideas of what you can do with it? Or do you just look at it and say, oh, that color is beautiful, I gotta have it? Yeah, but if that color is beautiful and you gotta have it, but other than that, it doesn't really do anything to you, then that yarn will end up sitting in your shelf and you will just look at it and say, oh, it's so pretty. But it needs to actually, speak to you. Does it inspire you? Is there something in the yarn that talks to you? You can sometimes, with me, gotta be honest, I've said it 1,000 times on my channel. A lot of times the thing that speaks to me the most is the name of the colorway. I would buy yarn just because of the name of the colorway. I would also use that yarn later on just because of the name of the colorway, because I had to make something with that yarn that was named that way. But find what it is that speaks to you and, see if it does speak to you. Does it inspire you? Does it spark your imagination? Does it give you ideas as soon as you look at it? This is the kind of things, that you need to look at. Now, I'm gonna start showing you some things because I want to talk about the quality of the dyer. Once again, going back to my initial point where before, my disclaimer from before, when I told you guys that if you've never worked with hand-dyed yarn before, the first one that you're gonna hold in your hand will be amazing no matter what. Or if you're not used to buying hand-dyed yarn, it's not something you do often, you might come across a dyer that everyone's talking about, and you'll buy their yarn and you'll hold it and you say, oh, they were also right. So you need there's something that you need to learn, I guess, with time. I cannot really teach it to you because I can tell you this quality of dyeing is better than this quality of dyeing, but you wouldn't necessarily understand until you will hold both of them next to each other in your hands. 1 second. Alice is saying, if there is an argument about yarn content, the consumer always has a right to know. Yes, right. If I doubt, does that fall under the Freedom of Information Act? I'm not sure what you mean. You mean in the content of what they're using? Yeah, Carrie is saying anything that's bunny she wants. And Deb is saying, I've heard a lot of people say that yarn name is important to them. Yes, I totally agree. Lacey says, I often buy yarn based in the name of the colorway. I also join subscription boxes based on the names and themes as well. I totally agree. I do the same. And Chris is saying, to him, name is the least important thing. Hi, Chris. Yeah, and we are all, attracted to different things. Hi, Ginger. Welcome in. So you need to find that thing that speaks to you. Lisa says, I don't care what the name is. I like the visual effect of the colors. Yeah, again, so each of us need to think what speaks to us. And, if the yarn doesn't speak to you, don't just, buy it. You're glad you're not the only one buying yarn based on the name. I'm pretty sure that in this specific bunch of Yarniversity, you are not the only one. Lacey says, I feel like if you feel you need to go all the way to a FOYA, what's a you should just find a different dryer that you do like. Oh, okay, now I get it. Yes. I get it, Lacey. Sorry, if the designer is refusing to dissolve the full content, can I use the I'm pretty sure you can, but if they wouldn't disclose what they are using, I would just not buy from them. Like, that's fishy. Freedom of Information Act only applies to requests for information control by the United States government, says Chris. The way the yarn looks is what is important to me, but I like a good name too, says Ursula. All right, so I'm going to show you some examples here. So you guys all know Little Bishy Stitches. She's my favorite dyer. I talk about her a lot. Link to her shop in the description box below. I'm not affiliated with her, but I do have a discount code, 15% off of anything on her shop with the link in the description box below. And yeah, she's my favorite dyer. It's not news to you if you watch my channel often. I'm also subscribed to her yarn club, and I have a lot of videos where I show yarns that I get from her when I unbox the clubs. And one of the reasons why I love her yarns and why I say that she's my favorite dyer is because of the quality of the dye. So this is her Baloo colorway. It is one of her one of my absolute favorite colorways of hers, and I think it's also one of her best sellers. And this specific base is the Merino Cashmere Nylon base. It's 80% Merino, 10% Cashmere, and 10% nylon. So already a very, very good fiber content in there. But when I'm talking about the quality of the dyeing, I'm talking about achieving something that complex in a dye work. And just so that you will see versatility of one dyer. So she can do that and she can do that. So those are two completely different color palettes, completely different, looks, and they come from the same dyer. And then she has colorways that look like this. So amazing speckling, tons of saturation, so many interest in the yarn. And these three hanks show you that this is a dyer that can do a very large variety of things. Where you can look at three hanks of hers and say they are all amazingly high quality dyeing. I mean, the not the dyes are beautiful, not the colors are beautiful. What she achieves with her hand dyed yarn is of such high quality that she can make three completely different color palettes, completely different hanks, and they would all be high quality, high end. So this is a good dyer if you want to go back and buy from them again. Ginger is saying she bought the Tiger King yarn for that reason, the name. And as it turns out, the yarn is awesome as well. Lisa saying, just tell the dyer if you have an allergy, they will tell you. Yes. All right, yeah, you guys all say the yarn is gorgeous. Lacey saying, I buy a whole lot of hand dyed and I always send a thank you message to the dyer. I've never had a bad experience with rudeness or anything. I'm sure it happens, but usually these dyers are friendly. Yeah, normally. Catherine is saying Baloo is one of her favorite as well. And Angela, the crazy puppy lady, is here. Hi, welcome in. You guys love it, love it, love it. Wow, that's almost like different personalities, right? That's what I'm talking about. So when you look at these 3 hanks and you say they all come from the same dyer, they are all, each of them very, very unique in its own way. Each of them just gorgeous. And so, you know, this is we have high quality dyer here. If you look at someone's yarns or website and you see something that is, you know, simple, yeah, that you've seen 100 times before, you can open this dyer's page and that dyer's page and that dyer's page and that dyer's page and put them all one next to the other and they all look the same to you. That means the quality, the understanding of the dyeing of the dyers is not the same level as someone who does different things. Now, that is one example that, and I linked her yarns down below. Now, I spoke to you guys before about by Emily, and again, I had a video about her on my channel, specifically when I unboxed yarns that I got from her. And maybe some of you also saw Gary from Urban Yarn, because Gary was on my live and he won a gift card from by Emily. So he took the gift card and got himself some yarns, and then he showed the yarns that he got on his channel. So this is another dyer that, again, I told you guys I got to her because of her philosophy and because of what she represents. But it was very nice to see that on top of her agenda and the things that she represents, she also has very, very good hand-dyed yarn, or the quality of her work is very, very high. So this is one yarn that I got from her, or one example. And then she also does this. So once again, you see like 2 different styles, 2 different abilities from the same dyer. And then this. Now, I really hope that, I don't really have, like I told you guys, I can't tell you how to recognize someone's high abilities or lower abilities. It's not something that I can teach you. It's not something that I can tell you how to look for, but I can try by showing you variety that maybe, you know, maybe it will click in your mind and say, oh, I get it. So I hope, I don't know, like I wasn't sure how you can explain a dyer that has the ability to, you know, put colors together, put different methods of dyeing together, saying, oh, these 2 colors will look beautiful if I use this method, and these 2 colors will look better if I use this method. And they are able to do different kinds of dyeing and not just the same thing over and over again, just alternating the colors. I hope that was clear. That is the dye quality that I was trying to talk about. Debbie saying she has to buy some of her yarns, and Hannah is saying I have to go in 5 minutes. What is to mention also, most of the times you do not get hand-dyed yarn very fast. Most of the times you have to wait, mostly from the indie dyers. It's totally okay. Yeah, Hannah is probably talking about dye to order, and I totally get that. And yes, you are correct. And Hannah, if you're still here, have a nice evening. Alyssa loves the colors, and Debbie loves the colors, and Lacey loves the colors. Right? 3 styles, completely different, and each of them very, very pretty. Carrie says, yes, she waited 6 weeks for things to be shipped out. Yes, that happens sometimes with indie dyers. A lot of the things are dyed to order, and that's fine. It's totally fine. A good dyer knows how colors can work together and make imaginative combos. Yes, definitely. So 3 more things when it comes to color. First of all, you should note or check or ask if it's not stated on the website if the colors are repeatable. So if a dyer has like a collection of colorways and they keep dyeing these colorways, and they will also let their customers know this colorway is about to be discontinued, yes or no, then it's something that you should find out. So are the colorways repeatable? Is this a dyer that continuously puts out more of their dyes, or is it just this one colorway is available now and next week I'll do something else? It's very, very important to find out, especially if you are, making a project and you run out of yarn. If that specific dyer does not do repeatable colorways, you should know it before buying the yarn so you will get enough in advance. Color matching. Some dyers have on their stores or on their websites the ability to put a few yarns one next to each other to see if the yarn matches. If they don't have that ability on the website, if the website does not supply that option, I would really recommend like taking snapshots of like screenshots of the different yarns that you want and put them one next to the other and try to combine them and see like color matching. Or when you're looking at the yarn on the website, look in your stash and see if you have something to combine with it if you're looking to combine them in a project. Of course, if you're just buying yarn to use on its own, just make sure that you're buying enough of it. And of course, take into consideration pictures versus reality. That is not something that you can really confirm other than looking at reviews. So if it is on Etsy, it's very, very easy. You go to the reviews, you read the reviews, and you see what people are saying. If it's not on Etsy, someone's website, some dyers do put reviews from their clients on their websites. If not, go to their Instagram, see what people are saying there, go to their social media, kind of try to see if there are repeatable complaints about the pictures and the colors in real life not matching. But other than like looking at other people's experience, there's not a lot you can do. I don't think there's any yarn dyer out there who would straight up will say like, I use editing programs on my pictures to make them look better. There are ones who put like disclaimer on their website or on their shop, saying colors may vary, the quality of pictures, different screens have different color definitions, and it might look different on your screen than it does in real life. If they do have that kind of disclaimer, they're not necessarily trying to fool you, because they are right. Different computers, different screens, colors look different, and so on. If you're viewing on your phone, it might look different than it looks on your TV or on your computer, and that is fine. But do be wary of, places that have reviews, repeatable reviews that say the colors don't look or the colors don't match, or if you go on Instagram and it looks like they're using filters on all of their pictures, I wouldn't buy there. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Great yarn is worth the wait. Yes, I agree. The diversification of those hanks are amazing. Yes, thank you, Doris. Crochet with Holly. Hello. Hi, Reggie and everyone. I've been here lurking early morning here in New Zealand. Good morning to you. Francis saying, Reggie, can you also explain how to use hand-dyed yarn? For me, it's still too hard. Yes, don't worry. We'll get to that. All right. So I spoke to you guys about, who are you buying from? What are the contents of what you're buying and the different colors. So if you joined in late, hi, Yarniversity. We're talking about how to shop online for hand-dyed yarns. If you haven't yet, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. If you want to join the membership program, the little join button next to the subscribe button will give you a full rundown of what it means to be a member of the channel. And now I will take a short break to tell you guys about today's giveaway, because every Yarniversity we have a different one. So the way this works, if you don't know yet, once the live stream is finished, so once this video is over and the live is over, it goes into replay, which means you can come back to the same video on the channel and watch it again. Once it goes into replay, you will be able to leave a comment down below. Right now you can't if you're watching this live, because everything you write will go into the chat. But if you're watching on replay or you're coming back to the replay, you will be able to leave a comment down below. And when you leave a comment down below today, I want you to tell me in the comment, have you used hand-dyed yarn before? And if you have, what are some, impressions or suggestions or advice that you have following your experience with buying hand-dyed yarn? I think it's important that way. Also, people who will come back to the video to comment can also read through the other comments and maybe learn something that we didn't discuss during the live. So if you have like personal impressions, advice, things that you need are important to pay attention to when buying from a certain dyer, or maybe in the comments you want to recommend a certain dyer that you bought from and you're very, very happy with their stuff, and you would like to bring them to our attention, then you can leave that too in the comment section down below, and that will be your entry into this week's giveaway. And in this week's giveaway, because you guys really liked the mystery thing from last week with the mystery set of hanks, so I decided we'll stay with the mystery. And what you're going to get for this week's giveaway is this notion pouch, and it will be full with different crochet notions. So I will fill this notion pouch with different accessories and gadgets and stuff that has to do with crochet, and that will be your prize. If you want to enter into the giveaway, all you got to do, come back to the replay, comment down below, answer the question I just asked, and next week on Yarniversity we will pull the winner. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Do you have an example for not so great dyeing? I do, but I really don't want to like put someone's yarn out there and hurt their feelings in case they're watching. So I do. But like I don't want to put people down, and I don't want to like badmouth people. But yeah, I have come across ones that are not that great. I've also seen people unbox yarns that they got online from hand-dyed dyers and like raving about them and saying how wonderful they are, which to me, as someone who buys a lot of hand-dyed yarn, just from seeing it on the video, it didn't look like a very good quality yarn, and definitely not something I would be raving about as the people in the video did. But that is because I have a lot of experience with hand-dyed yarn, and I do believe that people who did that video, the person in that video, is not. So that's okay. I told you guys before, the first hand-dyed yarn that you will hold in your yarns, or those first few ones, or if you're not a common buyer of hand-dyed yarns, you will have that reaction, and that's fine. But if you buy a lot of hand-dyed yarns and you are familiar with very high quality dyers, seeing that will like kind of make your skin itch. Lori, if available, would starting with a set of minis be a good way to get a look at these various factors about the process of experience of the dyer? Yes, Lori, definitely. And that's also one of the reasons why I really, really love mystery boxes, mystery bags, and so on from hand-dyed yarn dyers, because you get to experience the different things from the same dyer. And if you open the bag and they're all the same, then you know, okay, this is what they can do. And if you open the bag and they're all different, there's like a different variety and so on, that you get like a really good impression. Catherine is saying, Francie, I often find it helpful to look at their Instagram. Sometimes you can see people's project with their yarns. Yes, definitely. Look at the Instagram of the dyer. You'll get a lot of ideas of what you can make with their yarns. Wildflower yarns, for instance, even makes knit and crochet swatches. Right, that is correct. It's amazing how different it comes out. I totally agree. I actually have yarn from Wildflower Yarns here, and her store is also in the description box below, because I really love her yarns. So for those of you who are interested, and I also have a video about her in my channel, Wildflower Yarns. But yeah, those are, for example, her yarns. Here are again 2 yarns from the same dyer that are totally different. And yes, I love her yarns, and I absolutely love that she does both crochet and knit swatches of her yarns and shows them on Instagram, so you can see how it looks in both. Angela is saying, if like me, you came in late, don't forget to watch the replay to catch up on bits you've missed. Yes, thank you, Angela. Yes, definitely. Mystery Bags Vera says, I think hand-dyed yarn works up so differently between knitting and crocheting. I crochet, and hand-dyed looks way too busy in crochet. Any suggestions for crocheters? Yes, again, I will talk about projects and things to make with it in the end. That was the last thing I wanted to talk about. I'm only in the middle now. I'm only doing like a short break I wanted to talk about the giveaway, and then I'm gonna continue. I've never used hand-dyed yarn. I would like to one day hook her on a budget. Yeah, like I said in the beginning, it's not specifically for everyone. I'm not like pushing anyone to use hand-dyed yarn. I'm only trying to like help those who want to and don't know how. I have a fix for that, Reggie. I will send you my second attempt at dyeing when I get to it. All right, Angela. Alice is saying, big box comparison don't always get dyeing right either. Yes. Jana, totally understand about not showing it. I guess my question are, even experts end up with some not so great yarn, so what do you do with them? With the ones that are not so great, I just like combine them all together in something, or give them in giveaways to other people who might do like them. The fact that I don't like them like doesn't mean they're not good. They mean that in my eyes, in comparison to what I'm used to, they're not as good. But yeah, I have bought yarns from different dyers because other people recommended them, and when I got them, I was underwhelmed with the quality of them. Does not mean that there won't be anything to make with them. It's not that the yarn itself is not good. It's the dye that I didn't like, and then maybe someone else would like them. So I can gift them or give them away to people, or what I normally do is I use them in projects when I combine them with other yarns, when the other yarns are better. So I've made a lot of socks. Where are all my socks? They are here, but I moved them because I put all the yarns that I wanted to show you here. But I make a lot of socks. You guys know that I make a lot of socks. And so I use a lot of these like yarns in either the toe, heel, brim part, to like, it's a small section of the sock, and I combine them with a different yarn that's the main color, and the main color is the one that actually like makes the other color looks better. Side note, Wildflower Yarn has had a serious setback in her personal life, and she's an amazing woman. So if you like to help, go. Yeah, definitely. That is correct. I totally agree. Big box company don't always get dying right either. Yeah, don't worry. I got what you were saying. Hi, Mama Swift, Trisha. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. All right, so continuing on, the next thing, a lot of you guys mentioned it in the beginning, and I do want to talk about it, and that is the price. So before I started talking, I told you guys indie dyers, or people who actually, you know, dye in their yarn studio or in their homes, do have a reason for the way they price things. So yes, it is more expensive than buying yarn in the big box stores, but the price of, you know, mass production is different than the price of indie yarns. And so what is in the price, I spoke to you guys about all before. People who dye in their own yarn studios or in their own houses pay a lot of extras that have to somehow be covered with the prices of their sales, and that all is in the price of the yarn. But at some point, you see certain dyers where you're not only paying for all of that, all the things that we discussed, you also sort of like paying for their brand. So just like buying clothes from a brand name will be more expensive than buying the same item non-branded, it is the same with yarns, and it is the same with hand-dyed yarns. Again, coming to the example of Expression Fiber Arts from before, her yarns are substantially more expensive than the others. I'm definitely, nobody get me wrong, I'm not saying that the price, that they're not worth the price. They totally are. I love Shandy's yarns. They are amazing, and there is a reason why every time she puts new yarns on her shop, they sell out. It's because her yarns are great, but they are on the more expensive side, because other than the fact that she is more like a company and less like an indie dyer, you are paying for her name. And that happens also with Mad Tosh, for example. And I don't want to like give specific examples because I don't want you guys to get me wrong, but those of you who do buy hand-dyed yarns, you understand what I'm talking about. There are certain dyers who got to that point where they are like famous enough in the yarn community so that they can raise their prices because you're buying it from them, because they are a brand now. To answer the question, should you or should you not buy and pay for the name, to each its own. You know, I'm not gonna tell you if you should or should not pay more money because it's Expression Fiber Arts, but that is totally your decision. We all have our own decisions of what we do with our money and where do we give it to. But yes, there are dyers who charge more because you are paying for their name. But what do we want? We want value for money. We want price versus the quality. So I showed you guys before what I personally consider high quality yarn dyeing. And if I see a dyer that their quality of dyeing and quality of work appears to be of the higher end, then I think it is worth the price. I would not pay over a certain amount. How much I would pay or how much I would not pay, I'm not going to get into that, because we all view what's expensive one way and what's inexpensive another. For some of us, 20 euros or $20 a skein is a lot, and for some of us 20 is totally reasonable. So we're not going to talk about that, but I will tell you to put your value for money cap on and say, is this the quality dyeing that Reggie was talking about that I should be putting my money on? Or is this something I have seen 1,000 different of dyers do, and there is really no reason why that person charges more for it than everyone else? So that is, the value for money section or variable. And compare prices, of course. If it is something that everyone is doing and you can find a version of it on every single dyer shop, compare the prices and buy from the ones that you think their prices are the most, in your range. Check for websites that offer bulk discounts. There are some that will give a discount over a certain amount of purchase or over a certain amount of skeins purchased. So if you want to buy what we call sweater quantities, then, evaluate and see. Some of the dyers will give you a discount if you buy over a certain amount of skeins or cross a certain amount of dollars in your purchase. Same with free shipping. Some dyers will offer free shipping over a certain amount, and some dyers in general offer free shipping, domestic or international, probably not, but some dyers will do. I do know dyers who do international shipping for free over a certain amount of purchase. So this is something that you should check before buying. Shipping and returns also very important. And of course, you need to know how to calculate the price of the shipping along with the price of the yarn divided by the amount of yarn that you're getting. If you're not doing that with each one of your yarn orders, you should. If you buy from places that charge for shipping, you take the price of the shipping, you add it on to the price of the yarn, you divide it by how many skeins, balls, whatever you purchased, and then you sort of get the amount of how much you pay per skein. And if that's a reasonable price per skein or not is your own decision, but I normally do that, and that's how I decide if I want to buy from somewhere abroad and pay for the shipping or not. The choice is extremely large, and it is hard to guess how it will work up like, but at the same time, that's part of the fun. Usually pleasantly surprised with the result. Yeah, I'm normally pleasantly surprised with handler yarn as well. I'm interested in the ones you don't care for too, so I know what to avoid. Maybe one day I'll do a Yarniversity of unpopular opinions. Everyone will hate it and dislike it, but I'm very tempted to do it. Carrie saying, it is worth what you are willing to pay. It is worth what you're willing to pay for. Oh, okay. Yarn is worth what you're willing to pay for it, says Doris too. Yarn is worth what you're willing to pay for it. Yarn is worth? Oh, okay. So the yarn is worth what you're willing to pay for it. So if I'm willing to pay $7 for that skein of yarn, it's worth it. Now I get it. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. Also, Francie, often I get hit with love at first sight when scrolling through Instagram, says Catherine. That's what you should have when buying hand-dyed yarn. It needs to have that something. After all, it is an investment. Yes, totally. All right. Thank you, Rosemary. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Here in Canada, shipping is usually expensive, says Carrie. Yes, here in Europe, anything that I purchase from outside of Europe is very expensive as well. Only if I buy within the EU, it's sort of like domestic shipping. Lori saying, you know, I will pay too much for something that is a local artist, small operation, yarn person, or startup before I pay gimmick pricing or retail price for a big manufacturer. Lori, I'm totally there with you. Totally there with you. Again, I'm so tempted to do that, like unpopular opinion Yarniversity. I might one day, because I have so much to say about things that I see on other places. Hi Sandrine, good to see you. All right. So we spoke about the price. And now I want to show you the websites that I linked down below to show you a little bit of variety, and then we're gonna discuss a little bit of what you can make with hand-dyed yarns, okay? So all right, first thing, I'm gonna take you with me to the Lovecraft's website, and please forgive me that it is in German. It's apparently like recognizes the country you're in and changes the language accordingly, and even though I keep changing it back to English, it jumps back to German. But you need to look at the yarn, not at what it says, okay? So I was talking to you guys about like big box or big companies, big mass produce companies that do hand-dyed yarn. So this is the version by Schachenmeier. It is a German company, but it is sold worldwide. I have seen that some of the US websites also carry Schachenmeier yet now. And I do know that there are some companies that ship out of Europe that hold Schachenmeier and ship it worldwide as well. So this is the Schachenmeier version of hand-dyed yarn. It's called Color Up, and they have quite a large selection of colors, as you can see here. No, I don't want that. So as you can see, they have a nice selection. The yarn is 75% wool, it's merino wool, and 25% nylon. It is like a normal sock yarn blend, but sock yarn, you can make anything out of it. Yeah, sock yarn is just anything that's fingering weight yarn. You can make socks out of it, but you can also make shawls, sweaters, cardigans, skirts, a lot of things. So this is the Schachenmeier Color Up, and it is currently on sale on the Lovecraft's website. So I put the link to it down below, and you get it for €11.96, which is 12 euros. That's what, like $15 a hank. And like I said, they have a lot of nice colors. So that is one option, mass produce hand-dyed yarn. Another one is, of course, Malabrigo. So again, this is all the Malabrigo, the different Malabrigos that are currently available on Lovecrafts. But I will also show you, you can also get Malabrigo from other websites, of course. But specifically, if you are in Europe, I think Lovecrafts, they ship inside the EU with no extra taxes. And they hold a very large selection of the Malabrigo. So they have the Malabrigo Arroyo, the Sock, the Rios, Silpaca. You can see all of them, the Mora. These are just different kinds of yarn blends, yarn thicknesses. For example, the Arroyo is 100% merino, and it comes, it looks like, oh, come on, I don't want this. It looks like this, and it has a very, very large selection of colors. Once again, Malabrigo, when I was talking to you guys before, I've mentioned Malabrigo is one of those companies who do hand-dyed yarn, but they are a company. They're not an indie dyer. So this is the Malabrigo Mora, which is 100% silk, and they have very, very nice variations of hand-dyed silk. And then you have their alpaca silk blend. Also, it's called Malabrigo Silpaca. It looks like this. And it comes in semi-solids as well as variegated. So yeah, Malabrigo, like I said, it's a company. It's not an indie dyer. Filati is the home website of Lana Grossa. For those of you who are not familiar with Lana Grossa, it's a very big European yarn company. Here in Europe, if you haven't heard of Lana Grossa, then maybe you live under a rock. But outside of Europe, there are a lot of websites where you can get Lana Grossa, but I personally recommend to buy directly from their website. It's this website. It's called Filati, and it's linked in the description box below. They have worldwide shipping within 24 hours. They have 90 days return. Very good prices to buy directly from the manufacturer. But of course, there are a lot of websites, like big websites that sells yarn from different companies, where you can get Lana Grossa, and they have a collection of hand-dyed yarns as well. So they have a virgin merino wool, non-superwash, and then they have virgin merino wool and polyamide blend. They have mohair silk blend. They have an alpaca merino blend, like different kinds of blends. And they also have 100% cotton and cotton silk blends for those of you who said you don't like wool. So for example, the Lana Grossa hand-dyed Pima cotton yarn comes in a different variety of colors. So you have different colors, and this is 100% Pima cotton, hand dyed. I think you cannot beat that price. It's 14 euros. That's what, like almost $16 for hand dyed cotton. Wait, why did it give me this now? And of course the cotton silk blend. Once again, for those of you who don't like to use wool, they have a very nice speckling effect that I really like. Specifically that wool, the cotton silk one, is one that I have used before. They sadly don't have the color that I had anymore, but they still hold quite a nice selection of colors. And as I've said, this is a good option for those of you who look for this like mass-produced hand-dyed yarn companies. The last one that is like one of the big companies that does hand-dyed yarn is Darn Good Yarn. I spoke about them before. I said as a company, they are a very good company, and they have a very large amount of fibers. Also, some of them are, or a large amount of them are non-wool fibers. So they have banana, chiffon, cotton, linen, hemp and nettle, silk, and of course they have wool. And they also hold Malabrigo yarn, which I told you guys about before. You know, just another option of where you can get. But you know, I just thought for those of you who like to try different kind of fibers. This is, for example, their cotton. So I just think that that's another good example for mass-produced hand-dyed. Now I want to talk about the non-mass-produced, so private or indie. I talked to you about vegan yarns. I mentioned them before. They have a huge selection of vegan fibers, all hand-dyed. If you look at the yarns, they have tencel, they have cotton, linen, bamboo, very, very large selection of different blends. And they also have cotton bamboo, they have cotton bulky, they have super bulky. but just, you know, to get sort of like an idea of what their yarns look like. This is, for example, a hand-dyed tencel. You guys know how much I love tencel. It's shiny, it's beautiful, and they have their bamboo. So once again, very, very large collection of different vegan fibers, hand-dyed. Where's that? There was a specific one I wanted to show you, but I can't find it now. Bunch of natural pigment, vegan, cotton. Here. There it is, the cotton elastic. So for those of you who, someone asked me a while ago, I want to make socks, but all of the sock yarn that I can find is wool. So this is a cotton-based sock yarn, hand-dyed. It comes in a very large variety of colors, as you can see, speckled, variegated, semi-solids, and it's all bamboo, viscose, cotton, and elastic, so no wool at all. Next one, Little Vicious Stitches. You guys heard me talk about her more than enough today. I showed you her yarns. There is a link in the description box below, as well as a discount code, 15% off. It's good all year round. Even if you buy multiple times, you can use the discount code every time you buy. It is non-affiliated. I don't get anything from it, but you get 15% off. And she actually updated her shop today. So there are new colorways, Halloween colorways, fall colorways. You can still get her Crafter's Horrific box for Halloween. I do believe that you can still get it. No, the mini club is already sold out. But she has a huge amount of colorways. The Inspiring Castles of Europe yarn club that I am subscribed to is still available here. This is one of her new colorways, Heart of the Ocean. I literally just ordered it before I came live today. She has Chester Mills sock sets. For my Chester Mills sock pattern, she sells the yarn to go along with the pattern. So if you bought the pattern, she has perfect sock sets with the right amount of yarn that you need in order to make the socks. And the blue that I showed you guys before is this colorway here, and the yellow one, the Gods Like the Sun, is this one. Two colorways that are still available on her shop. And as I've said, she has like a huge selection, and her shop was just updated today. So and she is an independent dyer. She has her own dye studio, and she is like a small business. And on her shop, when you go on her shop, I'm in Germany, so everything is in German right now, but you can change it to English when you go on the shop. And she has detailed information on each one of her bases, so you can see exactly what you're getting, and detailed information about herself and her dye process and who she is and what is her agenda, and you know, totally open, 100%. Now, next one I wanted to show you guys, I spoke about her often as well. This is Nicole C. Mendez. Once again, I have a discount code for her, non-affiliated, but you get 15% off until the end of October on anything on her shop. She also has yarn clubs, but the interesting thing about her shop is she does hand-dyed self-striping yarn. So all of her yarns, she specializes in self-striping yarns. So you can see from the pictures, for example, this is what it works up like. So it makes perfect stripes, and this is hand-dyed self-striping yarn. So you need to be like a very good dyer to do this correctly, and her yarns are gorgeous. Then we spoke about Wildflower Yarns. We talked about her in the chat. I showed you guys yarns that I got from her. I have a video about her in my shop, in my YouTube. I have a video about her shop on my YouTube channel. And once again, she does amazing dye work. And she does dye to order as well as repeatable colors. You know, she has like a very, very good eye for color, and again updates her shop pretty often. So another one to look out for, and her prices are totally reasonable. And the last one I spoke to you guys about today was by Amelie, and I told you that her agenda is what drew me to her shop. I'm not sure, there are a few yarns in here right now, and she has these, of course, all these beautiful shiny ones are Tencel. She has a very good eye for colors as well, and she does a lot of naturals because she dyes with natural dyes, and she uses yarn that is friendly to the environment, and her dyeing method are friendly to the environment, and just a very, very good business to support. So those are, you know, like my personal recommendations in terms of where to buy from, but there are countless ones out there. Now let's see what you guys were talking about while I was showing you yarn. Oh wow, you guys were chatting a lot. I don't know anymore. What was the last time I read? We can make Reggie's shawls with hand-dyed yarns. Yes, well, my shawls look very good in hand-dyed yarn from what I saw from other people who made them with hand-dyed yarn. Lisa saying, I like to window shop for yarn. Nice to look at, but not on fixed income. I can't afford that. Lori saying, I also pay too much for art. Hand-dyed yarn is art for me that I don't absolutely love just because I can appreciate the process and passion of the artist. I totally appreciate that, Lori. Am I the only one that makes up a dream shopping cart and doesn't buy it? My hubby makes fun of my yarn and it gets expensive. No, you're definitely not the only one. Malabrigo washed in colorway Diana is spectacular. Oh, okay. Catherine is saying she haven't found any dyer in Belgium that she likes yet. Ursula is saying living under a rock. I guess that was my Lana Grossa comment. Mocha saying I love Malabrigo so much. I'm on a mission to own all their wash colorways. Doris, when I said maybe you were living under a rock, I meant if you are in Europe and you haven't heard of Lana Grossa, because they're a very big company. Lana Grossa has a beautiful label that will get a couple more dollars out of me too, says Lori. Lana Grossa is just a bit too present in Europe these days. Yeah, they are. I really love Darn Good Yarns as not only for the fabulous product, but their mission. Yes, right. They are a good company to buy from because they're good people. Darn Good Yarn gets almost as much of my money as Hobie, says Mocha. Lori says, this might be some good motivation for my diet. If I can lose some weight, I will need less yarn to make a beautiful top. That's funny. Jana says she would love some cotton yarn for socks. Well, I showed you guys where to get it now. Does she ship to the US? Everyone I showed you ships worldwide. Francie says she made a shawl with cotton bamboo fine from Hobie. The feel of the ball was so lovely and soft, but the shawl has no body. Shawl with cotton bamboo fine from Hobie. The feel is soft, but oh, I get it. All right. My only problem with buying hand-dyed yarn, says Mocha. Anything past DK is hard to find. I found lots of colorways I love. Mocha, I bought, okay, I'll show you in a second. Just look at those colorways. I'm just keeping up with the chat. Yeah, anything that's thicker than sport doesn't sell enough. I think that because the yarns themselves are expensive because it is hand-dyed yarn, and it is more expensive than normal. When the dyers make it thicker than DK, worsted and bulky, people feel like I wouldn't pay that much for, you know, for that small amount of yarn. You need multiple skeins to make something, and exactly, it gets expensive. I'm forever making dream orders. Yeah, me too. All right. So, because you guys were mentioning not going over DK, so I got some hand-dyed yarn that I showed you guys. I did a video about Martin's Lab. If you guys, all the videos that I'm saying that I did, and you guys, if you didn't watch them, you can always go back to the channel and watch them. So I did a video of a haul that I had from Martin's Lab, and a part of the haul was that I bought yarns in different weights, and I got some bulky hand-dyed yarn. Now, not a lot of dyers do bulky hand-dyed yarn, but Martin's Lab, they do, and they do it beautifully. So the hanks had 70 meters each in them. So as I was just saying, when you get a hank of bulky hand-dyed yarn and it is only 70 meters, and you say, what can I make with it? I can barely make one, because here I made a beanie and I had to combine 2 hanks together. So I can barely make one beanie out of it. I need 2 of them to make a beanie, and each one of the hanks costs 20 euros. So that's a 40 euros beanie. Now, again, I really wanted to see what bulky hand-dyed yarn is like, because, like you just said, not a lot of people offer it on their shop. So I got myself some of these hanks, and I made myself a beanie. And I will put it on, but you guys take under consideration that I do not wear beanies because I don't wear them well. They don't look very good on me. But as you can see, so it's very, very good quality dyeing, and the colors are amazing. I love them. But I am wearing a 40 euros beanie that I will probably, you know, not wear as often. And if I do wear it, it's yarn and it's hand-dyed yarn, and it's like a wool content. So I don't think it will have a very long lifespan, like maybe 1 or 2 seasons. And then I paid 40 euros for it, you know? So that is maybe why not so many dyers look or do hand-dyed yarn in bulky. And then with the leftovers, I made one more. So this is all hand-dyed yarn from Martin's Lab. So, and I love his colorways. They are amazing. He is an amazing dyer. But I bought these 3 hanks. I made 2 beanies with 3 hanks of yarn, and I would probably not buy bulky hand-dyed yarn again, because like these this is 60 euros right here. It's like what, $65, $67? Yeah. Oh, are you still going? Yeah, I'm still here. Calculation, how many hanks to buy without a project in mind is a problematic for me. Verna, I have a cheat sheet on my blog. If you go to the JHook Crochet blog, the link is in the description box below, and you go to what did we talk about when I did the cheat sheet? Was it how to read the yarn label? I think. I think it is the post about how to read their yarn label, and there is a cheat sheet of how to know how much yarn to get. Thank you, Debbie. Thanks. Mocha, to me, DK is more like the typical US 4 weight, so I can handle it. Yeah, I think it depends on the yarn. Oh, thank you. I don't wear beanies. I feel they look weird on me. But I'm glad you guys all like the beanie. Expression Fiber Arts has worsted and a little bit of chunky, says Judy. Right? That's too expensive. Enjoyed it too much. Time to go. Yes, see you later, Granny D. I will send everyone to you in a few minutes when we're done here. All right. Then see you later, Granny D. All right. So, 1 second. So in terms of how to calculate how much to buy, if you guys, I've shown that cheat sheet on a few times. Let's see if I can find it real quick for you. If I can find it, I will bring it up real quick. All right, so again on the screen it looks a little small, but go to the blog, you will find that cheat sheet. That's like how much do I need from each yarn weight in order to make a project. And if you don't, I personally, if I don't have a project in mind, I buy from anything that is fingering weight, I buy 2. And anything that's thicker than fingering weight, I normally buy 1. Why? Because with 1 hank of DK or worsted weight, you can make a beanie or a cowl. You can make a beanie and you cannot make a beanie and cowl set, but if you get 1 hank of this and 1 hank of that and the colors sort of match, I'm not talking specifically about these two because they don't match, I just need 2 hanks to hold. So if the 2 colors match, I can combine them and then I have a beanie and cowl set. And if I have a third one, then I have a beanie and scarf set. So normally in fingering weight, I get 2 hanks if I don't have a project in mind. If I have a project in mind and I already know how much I need, then I get what I need for that project. But if I don't have a project in mind, I will get 2 hanks of fingering weight because the sort of items that you make with fingering weight are normally the ones that you need more of. And if it's anything thicker than fingering weight, I get one of each color because then I will combine them like I did with the beanies, for example. If you want that cheat sheet, it is on the blog under the terminology or how to read a yarn label post. I've loved all the sites today. I'll figure my budget out and buy something. I'm glad someone understands, Lori. She has bulky, not chunky. Their bulky is 120 yards. Yeah, that's somewhere between a medium and a bulky. All right. So, in terms of what you can make with hand-dyed yarns, so the answer is everything. You can make everything with hand-dyed yarns. The trick with hand-dyed yarns is figuring out what kind of pattern the yarn makes when you work with it. So, if it's something like this, that it sort of has two colors running through it, and then there is like a section that's a little speckled, then you can assume that it will somehow stripe. Or depending on the hook that you use, you might get like chunks of color. So chunks of the dark color and chunks of the lighter color. But in general, when you look at a hank of hand-dyed yarn, it's sometimes very hard to think what it will look like when you work with it. But for example, if you have a hank like that, then it is very clear that the color changes are very, very quick. How do you know that the color changes are very quick? Because you're looking at a hank that's like, I don't know, 30 centimeters long, and it has 6 or 7 different colors in it. That means the color changes are very quick. You'll get like 1 or 2 stitches in each color, depending on what exactly stitch you are making. And if you have a yarn like this that has long color changes, then you know, because I can see that the red goes all the way from this side to this side, and the blue goes all the way from this side to this side. So I see that there are long color changes here. And I can also see in the area where it goes from here, from red to blue, I see that they sort of fade into each other. So I know that I'll get like a graduate color change and pretty long color changes, and I can sort of imagine what it will look like. But most of the time, you can't. And so for hand-dyed yarns, in crochet, anything that is a simple stitch with not too much texture would work. So for example, like I said, this beanie, it's just regular double crochets and front post double crochets. So it's double crochet, front post, double crochet, double crochet, front post, double crochet, and you let the yarn speak. So you choose a pattern that is simple, no fans, no puff stitches, you know, nothing like that. Or something very, very lacy, like this shawl, where you see that the short color changes are still apparent, but the pattern is still apparent as well. And that is something that is only possible with very, very lacy patterns that have a lot of chains in them. And these are the kind of patterns that work very well in crochet with hand-dyed yarns. Anything that's worked in single crochet, anything that's worked in like half double crochet, you know, stitches that make a simple texture, but you see the yarn, so they let the yarn talk, and not a very busy pattern that collides with the yarn. Brandy designs a lot of CJ Brandy designs a lot of one skein project in fingering yarn. Yes, this shawl is a one skein project in fingering yarn. Right? It is great for assigned pulling. If you guys are not into assigned pulling yet, oh my god, I can't stop making things in assigned pulling. If you don't want to know what assigned pulling is, go back to my channel, watch the video. There's a playlist with tutorials of how to do assigned pulling. And yeah, these kind of yarns are perfect for assigned pulling. Very elegant way of saying, I let the yarn speak. Yeah, just, you know, if you don't know what to make, one hank of DK yarn makes a beanie. I hope that you guys all know that. One hank of DK yarn makes a beanie or a cowl. Choose a simple stitch and just, you know, work until the skein is finished. That's it. All right, any specific questions about hand-dyed yarn, what to look for when buying them? In the meantime, while you guys write up your questions, I am going to go to the YouTube random comment picker and pick last week's winner. To remind you, last week was the what to make with mini skeins, and my question was, did you ever have mini skeins and what did you make with them? And in a second we will go and see who won the mystery set of mini skeins. It's the negative space of the lacy pattern that allows the busy yarn to work. It sort of becomes a solid color in the palette. Exactly, Lori. Actually, any pattern that where you will combine a solid color, preferably black or white because they work with all colors, and a hand-dyed yarn will also work. I'm trying to figure out a way to get the government to pay for my yarn. Oh man, if you'll figure out a way to do that, I think people will like go crazy and everyone would want to do that. All right, before I go to choose the winner, if you haven't yet, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. I remind you all that I need the dates. September 15th is the members only live. The Halloween special will be on the 10th of October, and if you want to contribute any price to that, please email me. And the anniversary of Yarniversity will be on 14th of November. Sorry. Halloween special is the 10th of October, and the anniversary of Yarniversity is the 14th of November. And if you want to contribute anything to that, once again, email me. 20% off on all Teespring merch, link in the description box below. Use this code, it's good until the end of September. And all the links to everything I talked about today is in the description box below this video. Don't forget to come back to the video and comment down below answering the question that I asked, and entering into this week's giveaway, which is the little notion pouch full of different crochet notions and gadgets. Okay, so since I'm not seeing any questions popping up, I'm going to take you guys with me to the YouTube random comment picker. I already put in the link and I said filter duplicate comments, and we have 28 comments this week. So let's start and see who won. We have DB, and she says, cool Yarniversity class. I haven't used minis so far, even for the small project, use normal size yarns. Would love to try a fading sweater with a solid color that would work with the minis. All the best. Well, DB, congratulations to you. You are the winner of the mystery set of mini hanks of hand-dyed yarn. There are 5 mini hanks in the set, and I will ship them to you just as soon as you'll email me to claim your prize. And all you gotta do is email me. My email is in the description down below. Write me your full address. It doesn't matter if you already won anything before. You have to email me. You have to send me your address to claim your prize, and don't forget to write what country you live in. Thank you. I'm so glad you all enjoyed it. And yes, congratulations to DB. Once again, thank you all very, very much for joining today. I hope today's Yarniversity was helpful. I hope that it helped you guys figure out what you need to do, or what you need to think about, or things that you should consider when buying hand-dyed yarn online. Once again, I'm not saying you need to. I'm saying if you were going to, or were thinking about it and just didn't know, I hope that today's tips helped you and will help you in your purchase And yeah, and if you do end up, you know, buying anything following today's Yarniversity, let me know what you buy, because you guys know I'm the total enabler and I love it when other people enable me. So I would love to see, you know, pictures of stuff that you buy following today's Yarniversity. Yeah. So thank you all very, very much for joining today. If you haven't yet, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up, and I will see you next week with a new Yarniversity. As always, I'm going to leave the chat running so that everyone can say goodbye to each other. If you are hopping over to Granny D after this, you know, do a student trade. Tell her I sent you and tell her I said hi. I might come in later, but I first have to have dinner. But I will definitely come into Petra's Happy Place birthday party. The link to that is in the description box below if you guys want to come there. She is celebrating her birthday on a live today at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. And I would love to see you all there, even if just for a short bit. Yes, I'm so glad you all enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed being here with you. So, cheers to you all. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Have a wonderful, you know, day for those of you starting your day in Australia and New Zealand. Evening for those of you in Europe or South Africa. And afternoon for those of you in the Americas. Cheers, and I will see you all next time. Bye.